Georgia. Number 3, Auburn against number 4, Georgia. Auburn coach Pat Dye, All-American guard at Georgia. Key people for the Tigers. Running back, Lionel James. Big, little man. Big, big man, Bo Jackson. Georgia coach Vince Dooley played quarterback at Auburn. Key Georgia people today, quarterback John Lastinger. And All-American rover Terry Hogue coming off an ankle injury but will play.
NCAA college football. This ABC Sports Exclusive is sponsored by Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Chevrolet and you taking charge. By Anheuser-Busch St. Louis, growers of Michelob. Some things speak for themselves. By U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by Goodyear, makers of Arriva, the all-season radio.
And ready to come into old Sanford Stadium that's jam-packed, the white-shirted Auburn Tigers. They only stumble on their schedule to a record of 8-1. They lost the second game to the Longhorns of Texas. The head coach, Pat Dye. And here come the Dogs. Only a tie in their second game, marring Georgia's schedule. But it took a 99-yard drive in the third and fourth quarter last week to get by Florida 10-9. The head coach, Vince Dooley. And hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson along with Coach Frank Royal. Teams ranked third and fourth in the nation. The highest-ranked teams that are going to meet head-on, I guess, this whole season, at least in the regular season, Frank. And every cliche, every homily has already been said. It's just head-knocking time, I guess.
Both teams are very physical. They'll line up and play toe-to-toe, jaw-to-jaw. And this reflects the personality of their coaches who believe in running the football, playing defense, and kicking the ball. They just don't have a very fancy. But when they have to, they can throw the football. But I want to mention that this is a style of play that wins championships, particularly in this part of the country. Even in other parts of the country, when you look back at Bud Wilkinson, Darrell Roy, Woody Hayes, and coaches like this was their stock and trade. They believe very definitely that you pass for show and you run for dough, and that means championship.
Play field position football because both these teams have outstanding kickers.
Running game plays a big part in field position. Each time these teams take the field, they'll try to make one first down, then another, then another. If they don't score, they punt the ball, back them up, and let their defense take over.
Georgia's offensive front about as good as anybody's, I think. Auburn's defensive front also outstanding. That collision ought to be something.
Georgia defense has 4 seniors. 2 of them made all Southeastern Conference. Surprisingly, Keith, they've run it for as much yards this year as they did with Herschel Walker in the past. But they're running up against a strong defensive front. 3 all-Southeastern Conference players that know how to charge, know how to challenge, know how to be aggressive. Who wins in these cases? Usually it's the defense. So we will look for Georgia to open up maybe a little bit early on first down and throw more than they have in the past.
I'm tired of talking.
I am too. Let's get it on.
Let's play football. The South's oldest college football rivalry, Auburn and Georgia, coming up. I don't care how many times you've been there, when you come to a ball game like this, my goodness, there's something special about it. Every nerve in your body has to be quivering. It was back in 1971 when these two teams came into this ball game undefeated, both with records of 9-0. But they were not as highly ranked as these two teams are. The series records reflected there, going back to 1892 at Piedmont Park in Atlanta, Georgia. The biggest upset in this series had to be in 1942 when Auburn defeated Georgia 27-13 down in Columbus. That was the Georgia team that went on to the Rose Bowl. Frankie Sinkwich, Charlie Trippi in that bunch. And they beat UCLA 9-0. Georgia has won the toss. Auburn will receive as Georgia elects to take the football to start the second half of play. Now let's check in with our colleague Tim Brandt regarding the health of Terry Hogue.
Keith, I talked to the trainer. I talked to Vince Dooley. He is wearing high-top shoes, has that ankle taped. He warmed up and says it feels very good. He may not start, but he will play. He said the warm-ups were outstanding. He can't wait to get in this ball game.
Jeff Cantrell had a big ball game last week against Florida for Georgia and seemingly would have earned the starting spot, and I would expect that we'll see him out there. But at the same time, when you have a player the caliber of a Terry Hogue, he will play if he can walk in a ball game like this. The offensive picture for the two teams, you can see that they're both productive on the ground, especially so in the case of the Auburn Tigers. Sanford Stadium is stuffed. They may very well have an all-time attendance record by the time they get everybody off the bridge and into the ballpark. Kevin Butler, who may turn out to be an important personality in this ball game before it is done today, just as the Auburn kicker, El Greco, may turn out to be an important personality. Two very fine kickers. The principal return man for Auburn is Brent Fullwood. They like him to have the football, but very seldom do you get a chance to run the ball back against Kevin Butler. Kick return, Fullwood is averaging 16 yards per return. Butler's kick is high, long, deep. There will be no return of this one. So one more time, Butler makes the opposition start at the 20, and it'll be Randy Campbell pulling the trigger. Bo Jackson will line up at right halfback at 226 pounds. Lionel James at left halfback at 170 pounds. And a freshman who was a dynamite performer last week was 219 yards, Tommy Agee. Chris Woods, wide receiver, 6 feet 185. The ball is put on the 20 now, and here's the first snap of the ball game for the Tigers. Auburn in white. They play on grass, real grass, here in Athens. The ball goes to Bo Jackson to the line of scrimmage, and that'll do it. The offensive front for the Auburn Tigers, Ed West, the tight end, 6'1", 235. At tackle, Steve Wallace, 6'6", 265. David Jordan, 6'6", 260. At center, Jan Cowart, 6'2", 230. Jeff Lott, 6'3", 270. And Pat Arrington, 6'6", 260. They are pro size up front. We'll set the Georgia defense for you in a moment. Second down and 10 Auburn from the 20. Out of the wishbone, Campbell bellies it down, goes outside to Lionel James, and James gets around the corner and gets the first down for Auburn. And that is a basic play out of the wishbone. Knox Culpepper made the tackle for the Georgia Bulldogs.
The key block on the right of your screen, Bo Jackson, the leading ball carrier, also blocked. You can see that the pitch is the outside man as the Georgia end gets blocked. Watch it on the sideline right over here. Number 34 puts him on the ground. And James goes for the first down, something Georgia did not want to happen. The Auburn back getting outside.
From the 34, first down for Auburn. Campbell looking it over and seemingly going to a check off, gives it back to Jackson, and Jackson moves it close to the 39. Georgia's defense lines up this way. The big people up front are Calvin Ruff, Donald Trumbley, Mike Weaver, Kenneth Sims, and Freddie Gilbert. Linebackers are Knox Culpepper and Tommy Thurston. In the secondary, Darrell Jones, Tony Flack, Gary Cantrell, and Charlie Dean. But Terry Hogue will be very obvious before the day is gone. Second down and 6. Campbell gives it to Agee. And Agee, a freshman out of Maplesville, Alabama, is across the 40 up to about the 41.
Credit.
Penn State comes on in the final minute of that ball game up at State College to beat Notre Dame by a score of 34-30. And TCU leading Texas 14-12. In the third quarter, it was 14-3 at halftime. Second-ranked Texas having all it wants with a horned frog. Third down, call it 4 from the 41. And Campbell back quickly. Just up to throw to James. Lionel James has it, and he's got a first down for Auburn up around their own 48. Knox Culpepper again making the tackle. Knox is the son of the man who played fullback a few years ago here at the University of Georgia. Young Knox is a junior out of Atlanta.
Young Knox Culpepper is the leading tackler, 111 plays so far this year, but all over the football field, making key tackles for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Auburn Tigers now starting at their 20 have moved out to successive first downs. They have it now first down at their 48. And again, Campbell takes the long count, rides it down, goes outside. Lionel James hurdles over one man, cuts it back inside, and makes something out of nothing. It looked like the Dogs were going to get him outside, but the little man cut it back inside, and finally it was Kenneth Sims that brought him down.
These numbers reflect the ability of the Auburn running back. Jackson leads the Southeastern Conference, 7-yard average. James 6'3", 85'7". Georgia's defense will try to force Campbell to keep the ball on the quarterback option, not let the back get it.
They have not been able to penetrate enough, however, at this point, Frank, to effect that.
I think that's a good point. They want to get in that backfield if they can.
Jackson is missed in the backfield and goes for a first down after the miss as he reaches the Georgia 40. Knox Culpepper, number 48, coming after him and missed him.
Culpepper is going to shoot the gap, knowing that the sweep is coming, but he misses the Jackson in the backfield. As you'll see, Jackson is big and strong, weighs 228 pounds, runs the 60-yard dash in 6.1 seconds. In fact, is faster than Herschel Walker as he beat him in a sprint last spring.
And the Tigers are sitting on the Georgia 40 first down. Testing the Bulldog defense right out of the starting block. First quarter of play, fumble. Campbell dives, covers the ball. Randy Campbell is the fellow that you don't hear much about until you get into Auburn itself and talk to the coaches, and then they will tell you how prominent he is in how the whole thing works for the Tigers out of the wishbone.
The wishbone offense is a decision-making offense on the option play. Precision thinking by the quarterback. Very key man, the key man.
After the fumble, it is second down, about 10, just outside the 40. Campbell bellies to the fullback, gives it to the fullback, and A.G. is rolled up at the line of scrimmage. And stepping in is Mike Weaver, the big middle guard, 280-pound junior out of Haines City, Florida. Last a yard on the carry.
Last week, Tommy H., the fullback, had touchdown runs of 61 yards and 44 yards right up the middle. Bill Lewis, defensive coordinator for Georgia, told me we are not going to let him dominate this game. We're going to close in and stop him if we possibly can.
It is third down and 6 now, and Auburn breaks the bone. They come up with one remaining back. They got the two halfbacks lined up in the wingback or flanker spot. It is passing down on 3rd and 9, but that doesn't always read fast. They throw swinging out on a screen to Bo Jackson, and Jackson fights his way down to about the 35, and there the Bulldogs get him and bring him down. So it'll be 4th down and 5 for Auburn.
The strength of this Georgia defense is 11th in the nation right now, is on wide plays. They play up and down the line, seldom penetrate on long yardage, difficult to run the screen against them.
It'll be a 52-yard field goal try for Al Del Greco. 52 yards. The hold is good. The kick is up. It's no good. It hit it right at the corner. Just missed it from 52 yards. And so with 9:03, Georgia holds and gets the ball. Watch it, how close it was. Coming down now, beginning to drop, and nicks the corner and stays out. Georgia gets the ball for the first time. They get it at their own 35. Nothing conservative about Pat Dye's decision to try for a 52-yard field goal. In so doing, he gives Georgia the ball with the miss at the 35. Good field position. So let's see what the Bulldogs can do in their first defensive possession. Auburn moved it well till they got to the 35. John Lastinger takes the snap, keeps it. Gets it quickly in the air and overthrows the intended receiver, the fullback, Barry Young. Here's a look at him. John Lastinger, 6'2", 190 senior from Valdosta. Keith Montgomery opens at tailback, 190-pound sophomore. Barry Young, the fullback. He started the season at tailback. He's a 210-pounder. Herman Archie's a big target at flanker, 6'5", 195. And Kevin Harris, the wide receiver, 6 feet, 195. And David McCluskey is now in at the I-back position for Georgia. He's a freshman, big fella, but they give it off to Young, the fullback. And Barry runs it up to about the 39 to pick up 4. Up front, the Bulldogs operate with Clarence Kay, 6'3", 235 at tight end. Winford Hood at tackle, 260 pounds. James Brown at guard, 250 pounds. The center is Keith Johnson. He's a 270-pounder. 255 pounds for the right guard, Warren Gray. He's a puller and a good one. Guy McIntyre, 6'3", 260 at the other tackle. Georgia running at about 50% on the season in third down conversions. Now it's Tron Jackson in a tailback and going in motion. And they swing it out to Jackson, and it goes right through his hands. You better cover it. It was almost a lateral. That was almost a lateral. It was a matter of a foot either way. They call it an incomplete forward pass, and that brings in the punter for Georgia, Chip Andrews. Here's the pass.
You can see that Latsing is throwing the ball parallel the line of scrimmage. The ball does go forward just enough to make it an incomplete pass instead of a bumper. Georgia's offense changed their strategy with respect to the Auburn defense through a pass 2 out of 3 plays.
Chip Andrews averaging right at 40 yards per punt. Trey Gaines, who's a 170-pound freshman for Auburn, is the deep man, and he's way back there showing respect for the foot of Chip Andrews. Andrews doesn't really get all of it, and Gaines will take a shot at it. Gets a good block to the boundary, and he is rolled out of bounds at the 30. It was a 39-yard punt, an 8-yard return with 8:09 to play in the first quarter, and no score between the Dogs and the Tigers. No score in the first quarter this year after Herschel. Better than some people thought. But what about Vince Dooley? Here are his thoughts.
Well, it's been a lot of fun so far, and it has been very rewarding because I really felt like we have a pretty good football team. I think our team felt that way. Herschel Walker came with a great class, and that class is seniors now, and I think they have tried to prove that they have not been a one-man football team. They never were in the first place, but I think this year has been special to them, and I'm proud of what they've been able to accomplish so far.
Auburn comes up now. Those comments from Coach Dooley yesterday. That's the 30, first down for the Tigers, their second possession of the ball game. And Campbell on first down will put it in the air, and he goes deep with it. The pass is incomplete. The intended receiver was Ed West, the tight end, a senior out of Layton, Alabama, and he was sort of pinched in between two people, one of them being Terry Hogue, who makes his first appearance of the ball game.
Terry Hogue will play a vital role in defense against the wishbone. He'll line up mostly at linebacker, and he will be a pursuit man to the plays away from him and a blitzing man on plays to his side. Number 14, consensus All-American last year.
Out of Huntsville, Texas, and almost a 4-point student in sciences and genetics. Second down and 10 for Auburn. Unusual to see Auburn throwing first down passes, but they've got to do something against Georgia. They know that. They give the ball to Agee, and for the first time today, Agee finds some running room and picks up 8 yards. Right now, let us check in with Jim Lampley in New York.
Couple of pertinent details on these bowl implication games, Keith. The Penn State-Notre Dame game, a wild-scoring affair won by Penn State on a Strang touchdown run with 19 seconds left. UCLA lost to Arizona, missing a game-tying field goal try from 37, won the last play of the game. Now back to Keith Jackson.
Thank you, Jimmy. A couple of big scores there. It is third down and 2 for Auburn, and the ball goes to Bo Jackson. And Jackson on pure muscle dives into the middle and grinds away and roots his way very close to a first down.
Bo Jackson against Florida 2 weeks ago had touchdown runs of 80 yards and 54 yards. Fourth down and short yardage.
They won't go. They're not going to gamble on fourth and a foot. Bo got down into that pile, and Georgia was able to hold him. And so on fourth and a foot, they'll punt with Lewis Colbert coming in, averaging 42 yards per kick. Jimmy Harrell will go deep for Georgia. Lewis Colbert, quite a story himself. High hanger. Jimmy Harrell has no choice but to call fair catch. Back just inside the Georgia 20. It was a 42-yard punt with no return, and we have no score. 7:06 to play in the first quarter. Georgia gets the football, first down, just inside their 20-yard line.
Keith, I guess people would wonder why did Georgia and Auburn both roll first down in the last possession this early. They're trying to break the trends of what they've done in the past and try to catch the other team making a mistake.
Scott Williams at fullback, David McCluskey at tailback for Georgia as they line up in the I. McCluskey with the ball. And he slashes in there, and he moves it out to about the 24-yard line. Here's a look at the Auburn defensive people now, and they're good ones. John Daly, Doug Smith, Dow Ottman, Donnie Humphrey, and Quincy Williams, the big people. Linebackers Greg Carr, he came into this ball game with 116 tackles. The other backer is Jeff Jackson, David King, Jimmy Warren, Vic Beasley, and Tommy Powell, the secondary. They're second down and 6, short 6. And Lestinger, the quarterback, keeps the ball, fumbles the football, and Auburn covers it. Auburn has the ball at the Georgia 23 as Lestinger was hit, and the ball popped loose from Quincy Williams. Big Quincy, a senior from Douglasville, Georgia, comes up with a recovery.
Watch 99, Doug Smith, Doug Smith's right arm. He's going to whip the blocker first. It's an option play. The quarterback's got it in both hands, so watch him strip the ball with his big right hand. Doug was all Southeastern Conference last year as a defensive tackle. A big play for him right there.
Now Quincy Williams comes across and pounces on it, and Auburn's in business after the Georgia turnover at the Bulldog 23. They line up in the wishbone. Ed West is flexed to the left. They've got a wide man to the top. And the ball is picked outside the Lionel James, and James gets away from one, and Culpepper runs him down and out of bounds at the 19.
Here we watch the Auburn coaches talking to their defensive people about the Georgia offense. Since the Texas game, Auburn has averaged 411 total yards, 33 points on offense. Wishbone teams have a tendency to get better and better as the season goes along.
Second down, long 5 near the 19. Hidden off to the fullback, kept by the quarterback, number 90, Freddie Gilbert, defensive end, senior from Griffin. Grabs Randy Campbell and throws him down.
Freddie Gilbert, number 90, is the big playmaker for the Georgia defense, and he has been for the last 2 years. He has 20 plays where he's tackled opponents for a loss or sacked the paper. And he has 10 sacks and also 10 plays tackling for the loss. Just a great player, as the tackle chart shows.
Third down and a short 6 for a long time. Chris Woods is flanked out of the picture. Campbell goes along the line, keeps it, and turns upfield and gets the first down for Auburn as he got inside the 15 and then cut it back before Darrell Jones brought him down. Campbell weighs 165 pounds.
Here we look at Pat Dye, who's turned 3 college programs around, East Carolina, Wyoming, and now Auburn. Randy Campbell, number 14, is the catalyst, to quote Pat Dye's own comments of this offensive unit. He has to make those decisions in both the running and passing.
It is first down at the Georgia 12. Ball goes to Bo Jackson, bounces to the outside, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. Breaks tackle, gets inside the 5, down at the 3. That's why Pat Dye says Bo Jackson's one of the best athletes in the country playing football. 2 Georgia people had him, and they just simply couldn't hold him.
Bo Jackson is just a sophomore, but he is so big and so strong. He really doesn't know how good he can be. But watch this illustration of what a big man can do when he's got his shoulders turned downfield and wants to go for that goal line. Just a sensational run by Bo Jackson, the sophomore halfback from Auburn.
Ball is on the 3. It is second down, 1.5 yards for a first down. 3 yards from the goal line. Campbell outside. James got a block. Touchdown. Bo Jackson opened the door for him.
Watch the blocking on the right. The triple option. Georgia elects to stop the fullback, stop the quarterback, The great block of the defensive halfback Jones, number 17, lets James walk into the end zone.
It'll go into the books as a 4-yard run. It was just outside the 3. They call it 4, and it's 6-0 Auburn. Here's the extra point try by Del Greco. The holder is Mike Mann, a quarterback, and everything works to perfection. He's 34 out of 34 in extra points for the season, and at 4:34, Auburn goes on top.
Number 87, Ron Middleton, the tight end. Watch him seal off the inside. When a ball carrier, when the fake goes in to the fullback, you have a chance to seal off the linebacker, Culpepper, allowing James to go in for the touchdown. Great execution, and we'll be right back after this.
Field position football. You make a mistake, they make you pay for it. That's the history of both teams. And Auburn just put one on Georgia to lead 7-0 with 4:34 to go in the first quarter of play after the Georgia quarterback fumble. Darrell Jones is one of the deep men. Kick is well back in the end zone and out of bounds in the end zone. It'll come out to the 20 where Georgia will have it first down. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football just down the road from Athens. It'll be played in Atlanta. The Los Angeles Rams and the Atlanta Falcons getting after one another in NFC Western Conference battle. Be a good one.
The Los Angeles Rams have probably the rookie of the year, and Eric Dickerson, the running back, really having a sensational first season with the Rams.
Gorgeous day. Just a few twisty clouds. Beautiful day for a game of football, and Lastinger puts it up. Goes down the sidelines. The pass is incomplete. He was on the hand of Herman Archie, but Jimmy Warren was there with just enough bother to cause him to lose it.
Archer is going to run a pattern that gave Auburn trouble last year in this ball game. Going out the flat, the quarterback takes the ball to him, then he turns deep. But since the halfbacks last year were burned on this for an 80-yard touchdown pass, Jimmy Warren is there. He doesn't play it very effectively. Archie had his hands on the ball, but couldn't hold it.
Second down and 10. Handed off inside to the fullback, Barry Young. And the senior from Swainsboro gets about 2, maybe 3 on the plunge up the middle. And so it brings up 3rd and long for Georgia and probably another passing down. That's capacity here at Sanford Stadium. It has been sold out all along through the season. And it's going to put Georgia up among the attendance leaders in the country, obviously, with the addition here. They used to set them up on the railroad tracks up there where they could preload, but they've filled it in now and made it one of the bigger stadiums in the country. 11,000 Auburn people are here. Lastinger on an option, tries to cut it back up the middle, and he is nailed by 41, Pat Thomas, the sophomore linebacker. Just locked his leg, and Chip Andrews will come in to punt. So the Auburn defensive people are containing the Georgia offense quite well.
They're doing an effective job. Georgia has changed their game pattern. They've thrown on first down on both series, both possessions, and it's been incomplete, forced them into a punting situation.
Trey Gaines goes back. Chip Andrews to punt. His average coming in is just right at 40. His first punt was a 39-yarder, and Gaines had an 8-yard return. High hanger. And a fair catch is called by Gaines. And downfield, Auburn will have it first down at the 34. Yesterday, in talking with the coaches, I visited with Pat Dye about the makeup of this team.
This football team is hungry. It's made up of a group of seniors that had a lot of faith in me and our staff when the transition was made several years ago. Had a lot of faith in Auburn to come there under the circumstances that they came there. And a group of young players, sophomores and freshmen, that believed in a dream when we went out to recruit them 2 years ago. And that's what this football team is made up of. And it's been a very exciting season and a very rewarding season. And we're excited just to have an opportunity that we have today.
The opportunity they have today, as you saw Jackson pick up about 3 yards, is this. If they beat Georgia today, they'll snap a string of 23 consecutive wins in the conference for Georgia. They'll snap 24 straight wins between the hedges. They will guarantee a share of the SEC title, and quite possibly, if they can handle, in fact, if they can handle Alabama December 3rd, they'll go to the Super Bowl. Up the middle, Jackson. A little delayed draw to Bo Jackson, and he blows it out of there and picks up a first down at midfield where Tony Flack brought him down.
This is a play that Auburn has had. The play starts to the right. Georgia linebackers move very quickly in that direction. The hand back to Jackson going, and you can see the natural hole that was made by the fake to the right, coming back to the left. Jackson nearly scored.
They don't give him midfield. They mark it close to the 49, just inside the 49 for the first down. Jackson now 35 yards on 6 carries. First down pass by Campbell down the middle. Incomplete. His tight end, Jeff Parks, was open to him, and he missed him. Looking at scores, Nebraska out 6-0 over Kansas in the first quarter of their ball game. Illinois headed for the Rose Bowl. That will lock it for them right there. That's their ticket. And SMU leading Tech 9-0 at halftime. And BYU, Colorado State. Gordon Hudson was hurt, a great tight end for BYU, and it's hurt them some. Florida was a winner today over Kentucky. And Alabama and Southern Miss in a pretty good football game. Second down, San Auburn, just short of their 49. They lead 7-0. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Campbell with the ball, going down the line, turns it back inside. Perry Hogue had come up from the rover-back position, and he took away the option man. He was shoulder to shoulder, in fact, a huge shadow over little Lionel James, and there was no way that Campbell could get him the ball.
This is the strategy that Georgia wants to use. Stop the fullback, stop the pitch, and make Campbell, who only has slightly more than a 1-yard average running the ball, keep it on the option play. Very well played by the Georgia defense.
Upset there as Virginia bounces back after a loss to Georgia Tech to beat North Carolina. The Tar Heels having their problems in the latter portion of the season. On 3rd and long, 3rd and 7, Campbell has good protection. Quick this pass, it is complete. Good to Jeff Parks. And Parks has the first down for Auburn at the Georgia 40.
Good poise by Randy Campbell, the quarterback. Most wishbone quarterbacks won't stay in the pocket that long. They take off and run with it. But Georgia had no rush, gave him plenty of time to finally spot the receiver and hit the key first down pass.
Georgia Tech rolling against Wake Forest. They have a chance to finish with a winning record in the ACC. Pittsburgh beat Army today. Panthers look like they're headed for a bowl game. Campbell on first down. 24th time this season they've thrown on first down. Bulldogs are chasing him. He gets his pass away, and it is incomplete. And he's lucky to get it back. And Darrell Jones is howling that Jeff Parks, the tight end, shoved him. Otherwise, he might have had an interception, but he gets no call.
Georgia defense knocked Jackson coming out of the backfield down. He was the first choice receiver. He never did get up and get in the pattern, and Campbell was just trying to scramble and get rid of it, avoid the loss, and it could have been offensive pass interference on Parks' part down at the end of the play.
Ball is at the 40 of Georgia, where it is second down and 10 for Auburn, and you've got 53 seconds to play in the first quarter. First win of the year for Yale. Norman Coser's Bulldogs beating Princeton. Hogue comes creeping up along the line of scrimmage. Let's see if he comes on a full blitz. He does, but he's behind the play. They hand it off inside to Lionel James, and it's the first time today that they have sent Little Train up the middle, and he gets something out of it.
The Georgia defense continuing to do their part. The blown touchdown for Auburn was set up by a fumble by the Georgia offense. The defense doing a good job of containing the Auburn offense.
Tim Jesse comes in, number 25, 200-pound sophomore from Alabama. Replacing Bo Jackson at the right halfback spot. Jesse has very good speed. He's a rangy sort of a fellow with a big stride. Here's again that offset now as they line the two halfbacks up in a flanker spot and give the ball to Tommy Agee. And Agee will not get the first down. Freddie Gilbert was the man that slowed him down, and then he got some help. And Calvin Ruff, number 86, really put a shoulder on him and knocked him away from the first down marker.
Fake pass and run by wishbone teams aren't usually effective for the simple reason they don't throw that much to get the Georgia defense to take the bite and rush the passer, opening up a natural hole. Georgia defense showed their speed, their ability to play the fake pass and run.
Fourth down and 4. Bo Jackson has come back into the lineup, and Auburn's going to go. The ball is at the Georgia 34. So they'll either leave it in around the 30 for Georgia, or else they'll get themselves the first down. Campbell coming down the line on the option, turns back in the middle, sticks his head down and dives for it. It just depends on the mark.
Keith, that did not give him a spot for the first down. It's short. Georgia takes over.
And the first quarter comes to a close. The Georgia defensive unit have their spirits picked up by their hold on it. And after 15 minutes of play, it's Auburn 7, Georgia nothing. Cool, bright, sunny day in Athens, Georgia. The Bulldogs yet to make a first down in the game. Have the football at their 31, first down. Auburn leading 7-0. Archie goes in motion, pitch back to Montgomery. Keith Montgomery tiptoes around the left side and moves out to about the 34, where they knock him out of bounds. And here are your first quarter stats.
You see Georgia's having difficulty in moving the ball. 2 possessions, no first down. Auburn has moved the ball effectively between the 30-yard line. Got a break, the untimely fumble by the Georgia quarterback, setting up the 1 touchdown. Auburn dominating both offensively and defensively in this first quarter.
Second down and 7 for the Bulldogs at their 34. Outside, Montgomery cuts it back, finds a hole, dives for the marker. He's across the 40 and close to a first down. Gerald Williams, defensive tackle, sophomore out of Valley, Alabama, makes the tackle for Auburn. They will measure. The referee is Dick Burleson, the umpire Harold Johnson, linesman George Shuford, line judge Bill Schroer, field judge is Ron Gilbert, and the back judge is Billy Tees. Just short. Third down and inches for Georgia.
As we look at the officials, I would like to point out that the change in the Georgia offense this year is option plays with a quarterback last finger, keeping the ball and making yardage. He's averaging over 4 yards a try, rushing the football, and that does include the sack. That average.
They send in a second fullback, Scott Williams. David McCluskey, a 215-pound freshman from Rome, goes in at tailback. So they try to get as much leverage as they can. It figures Young will get the ball. He does. And he's got the first down.
That thick Georgia offensive line gets a good surge most of the time. Jimmy Harper and Guy McIntyre, both all SEC last year returning. You had to pick and match it between Auburn's defensive front and Georgia's offensive front are the strengths of this football team.
That is the first down of the ball game for Georgia. Ball is sitting at their 42 with Montgomery and Young now. The setbacks behind Latcher.
Oh, man.
John gives it to Montgomery, and down he goes. Shooting through. And making the tackle is Gerald Robinson, the defensive end. Big sophomore from Notasulga, Alabama.
Number 99, Doug Smith, was all confident. Let's see what happens to him. Up the top of your screen, you're going to see Guy McIntyre, number 94. The old saying of the offensive coaches, keep your face and stay off your face. That means you can sustain your block. That's a perfect example by Guy McIntyre.
Ball is on the 39, a loss on the play of 3 yards, second down and 13. Lestinger showing pass, puts it up, got a man wide open and missed him. Kevin Harris had broken free by 3 yards, and Lestinger's pass was wild. He's 0 for 4 now.
Keith, the theory behind that play is we watched Vince Dooley, who's one of the most highly respected and admired people in our profession. Won national championship, 6 Southeastern Conference, 14 bowl games. Really a great football coach. But Georgia was taking advantage of the eagerness to tackle of David King, their fine quarterback. He took the fake, receiver wide open for the touchdown.
Third down and 13. Lestinger trying to touch it downfield. He's wild again. He had Harris in between backs and tried to touch it into him, but he missed him by a good 4 or 5 yards. So Lestinger having a rough start in the ball game.
Well, you're going to see Harris. He's not going to be very open on the boundary. He's got Quincy Williams and Robinson in front of him. Lestinger does playing very wisely as far as I'm concerned. He overthrows him right here, gets the ball out of bounds. Lestinger is not known as a passer on passing down. Mostly play action passes on running situations.
I know a lot of quarterbacks that would hit him right there, though. He had a good 8 yards of clearance for quite a long time. High hanging kick this time by Chip Andrews. Dandy back at the 16. Trey Gaines. Oh, he's collared on the 22. 46-yard punt, 8-yard return, and a flag.
flag is back at the line of scrimmage. Could be on either Georgia or Auburn. Normally on a situation where the flag was dropped, could be defensive holding. Let's wait and see what the options are.
Must be complicated. Personal foul from Georgia. I thought it was looked at down almost a clothesline down there on Gaines.
Well,
Let's see where they're going to mark it from.
Keith, I'm glad you mentioned the clothesline because that's something that's been made illegal in college football. You cannot tackle with an extended arm in the face. Cannot make contact, so they're going to go back and make Georgia kick the ball again.
Andrews had hit a 46-yarder. Gaines had an 8-yard return. So the personal foul is going to back Georgia up, and Auburn should get the football in very good field position with 12 minutes and 44 seconds to play in the first half, and the Tigers leading Georgia by a score of 7-0.
Under these circumstances, I think that's a good decision. First is that Broadway had gotten off a beautiful punt. Andrews had gotten off a beautiful punt, and
here's the call.
Personal foul on the kicking team. Replay 4th down.
And it just backs Georgia up and forces them to kick again with a chance to something to happen dramatically in Auburn's favor.
Standing at the 10, should hit it around the 14-15. If he gets it over the 15, Auburn's going to have a chance to block it because they've got 10 men up. Now they drop 1 out, 2 out. Still 9 people up there. Not as good a kick either. Sort of shanked it off the side of his foot and takes an Auburn bounce back upfield. So that's the difference from the 22 up to the 48. That's a 26-yard difference. 12:33 to play in the first half.
Keith and Frank mentioned the Latsinger's wild throws in that last series. I just talked to John Williams. He says he is going in next series to be the quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Todd Williams, considered by some a little better passer than John Lastinger. He's a sophomore out of Waycross and figures the heir apparent for the quarterback job for next year. He played quite well in the opening game, actually, against UCLA.
And Keith, he brought the Bulldogs back to a tie against Clemson in the 4th quarter with some outstanding play.
Gary Cantrell is back in, and Terry Hogue is out now at that roverback position for Georgia as Auburn goes to work. First down, just outside their 48. Give it to Bo Jackson, hit behind the line of scrimmage, hit twice, hit 3 times, and finally down by Culpepper. Tommy Thurston had a shot at him, but he is so big and so strong. They list him at 230. Bo said he actually weighs about 226. Those are games that are coming up here on ABC. Army-Navy out of the Rose Bowl in Pasadena on Friday the 25th. Then down to Aggieland we go for that annual between A&M and Texas. And then December 3rd, Alabama and Auburn at Legion Field in Birmingham. Second down, call it 5. Ball is at the Georgia 46. And Campbell pass. Good. Thrown quickly. Good release to Clayton Buford. Buford had come to Auburn as a quarterback. I remember his freshman year. He played some against Alabama. Played pretty well as a quarterback. But he found that he could get more work and more playing time as a wide receiver. And that's where he's working right now. It's good for a first down at the Georgia 38. Campbell checking off. Georgia jumps. Number 52, Henry Harris, a freshman from Decatur. Just absolutely couldn't contain himself anymore, and he took a jump at it, and he jumped too soon.
Campbell is changing the play. He sees something that he doesn't like, or he sees something he could take advantage of the Georgia defense. On the previous play, he saw the one-on-one coverage and went to the receiver Buford for the first down. The wishbone quarterback, I mention again.
Dead ball foul. Illegal procedure. Defense.
The wishbone quarterback is a position of decision-making, both on the option play and using the audible.
5-yard penalty moves it back to the 33, where it is first down and 5 Auburn. That's another mistake by Georgia.
Come on now!
Campbell pitches it on a reverse. It goes to Buford, coming back. Good coverage by Georgia. And he runs it inside the 30 down to about the 29. Here again, Jim Lampley.
Another big day for the statisticians in Nebraska, Keith. Mike Rozier in the second quarter has 21 carries for 195 yards. This was his third touchdown run of the day. He has broken Lydell Mitchell's season record for touchdowns rushing with 27 this year. He's going to have his third straight 200-yard game. Back to Keith Jackson.
Boy, that Nebraska, they can hit you so many ways, but in particular, Rozier. Wow. It is second down, a yard and a half for the first down for Auburn. Ball at the Georgia 29. And Campbell keeps it. Gets the first down as he stops at the 26.
The Georgia defense again keeping Campbell making Campbell keep the ball. The old theory, you bleed slow with a quarterback keeping the ball. It's not a good runner. It gushes against you when you let Jackson and James and A.J. break into that secondary.
The Golden Eagle of Auburn, War Eagle in Texas, came from behind. They were trailing 14-3 at halftime, came back to beat the Horned Frogs of TCU 20-14. Jim Wacker almost pulling off one, and TCU has been a big problem for Texas through the years of their competition. He had to drive Darrell Royal crazy, didn't he?
They certainly did. They have upset Texas late in November and knocked them out of the Cotton Bowl a number of times in the last 3 decades.
It's first down Auburn. Ball is on the Georgia 26. Campbell pitches high in the air. Bo Jackson gets out there and turns in a big play. All the way down to about the 6-yard line of Georgia. Tony Flack finally brought him down.
What a great play by Randy Campbell. The option play, he's going to pitch it out as he is being grabbed by the Georgia player. The fullback is not there. Fullback blocks Culpepper, makes a tremendous block. Watch him just throw the ball out. Now watch this big frame Jackson turn it on. 18, Dean misses him, and he outruns a couple of Georgia Bulldogs, and finally Holt comes all the way across to assist in the tackle.
Underneath that stack was Tony Flack, number 8, and he's the man hurt on the play. Jackson now, 8 carries and 60 yards for Big Bo, and it's first and goal to go Auburn at the Georgia 6.
Pat Dye told me yesterday they have to devise ways to get the ball to Jackson at least 15 times a ball game, and to James 15 times a ball game, and so they run plays other than the wishbone to get this done on some occasions. That was a triple option that Georgia let the ball be picked, something they didn't want to happen.
I think it's interesting, too, as Flack now gets up and runs off the field. He's all right. But to give you an idea of something of the ability of Bo Jackson, Frank, he runs most of his plays left-handed. In fact, he is a right-handed person, and it obviously is easier to run right. But Jackson doesn't do it very often. Most of the time, he goes left.
Chief, that's a very good point. It's awkward for him at best, running to the left.
First and goal for the Tigers, Georgia 6. And it's Jackson. Back into the middle, picks up 1 to the 5.
We look at Pat Dye giving the plays to the receiver, going in to call it for the quarterback. What a fine football coach this man is. And how he fits into the Auburn plan, and the Auburn people love him. Keith, I think it's a perfect marriage in the coaching profession and with a school. He loves Auburn, and Auburn loves him.
Black is back into the lineup now for Georgia. Second down goal to go at the 5. Campbell gives to A.G. And he's right about the 2.
Last week, Georgia, against Florida, Florida penetrated the Georgia 20-yard line 6 times, came away without a touchdown, 3 field goals. So the Georgia defense knows how to play with their backs to the wall. As we look at Vince Dooley, very concerned right now. There's Pat Dye, 2 very fine coaches, been in a lot of big ball games in their time.
Third down and goal to go from the 2 for Auburn. Campbell wants to throw. Hit hard. And dropped on the 4. Knocked Culpepper.
Knox Culpepper is going to number 48, makes a critical play. He reads the play. Now he makes the decision to go and pick up the tight end and then decides to rush the passer. Forces Campbell to cut back and make the play into apparent field goal position. Another goal line stand for the Georgia defense.
Del Greco is in for the field goal try. It'll be a 20-yarder. If he makes it, he will tie Auburn's career field goal record of 38. Man gets it down. Del Greco gets it up and nails it. With 8:03 to play in the first half, Auburn builds its lead now to a 10-0 score over the Georgia Bulldogs. 10-0 ball game. Auburn leading Georgia with 8:03 to go in the first half. Albert Manning, number 27, and Gary Moss, number 24, have gone in to return the kick for the Georgia Bulldogs. So you got new people in there to run that ball back.
Number 3, Del Greco.
Del Greco kicks it off. High. It's in the end zone. No, he's not. He started to come and then decided to put it down. Here's Terry Hogue on tradition.
Well, I think what's meant by that is just that the program at the University of Georgia has recruited winning people over the past few years, and what they put out on the field to play are not necessarily the fastest, not necessarily the greatest athletes, but people that are going to give 100% for 60 minutes and are going to play with their heart. And as corny as that may sound, it's going to win football games for you if you're willing to fight it out until the last play and never accept defeat until the clock runs out. And I think that everybody on the football team has that attitude, that we're going to find a way to win, and we're just going to keep fighting until it happens for us.
You saw the defense exemplify that. Now it's up to the offense to reflect it as well. Todd Williams has gone in replacing Lastinger at quarterback. They run an option play with Ron Jackson, and Jackson picked up about 3 yards.
Talking to Vince Dooley about his running backs, he told me yesterday it's been difficult to recruit running backs because Herschel Walker was their tailback and would have been for another year.
Georgia's net yardage right now is -3. 17 yards. They've lost 20 on penalties. Williams pass in the air off the hands of Herman Archie, incomplete. And it's 3rd down and 7, and the Bulldogs just can't get anything going offensively.
Todd Williams is a good option quarterback and has had better success passing than Lastinger. Number 15, changing quarterbacks can ignite the team on some occasions. That's what Georgia's hoping for right here. Auburn defense continues to outmuscle the Georgia offense.
Those 3 big guys up front are really rough. And they were big and tall, tough to see over. Williams turns it back upfield, finds enough daylight to get the first down. Todd Williams runs it out to the 33, where Quincy Williams brings him down.
If Georgia ever needed a big play, it was right there. Williams made it. It was a bootleg pass. Means he's going to fake one way and roll back for a pass. But Auburn had penetrated across, and look at the hole that Williams has when he decides to run, and he knows where the first down marker is, and he dives and makes it.
Took a pretty good lick getting it, but he got it. And it's out on the 33, first down for Georgia. Option down the line. Williams keeps it, turns up across the 35, gets it up to about the 37. That's 4 yards, 2nd down, 6 coming up. And there's the time remaining in the first half of play, with Auburn leading 10-0.
Georgia's offense needs to assert itself right here, make something go down, where they can go down the field and have a chance to score before the half. Be very crucial for them.
2nd down, 6. That's Archie in motion. Williams looking. Throws it to Archie. Archie's out here one-on-one. He's 6'5" and weighs 195 pounds. The Auburn man had him short of the first down marker, but he just put his shoulder into him, and he carried Jimmy Warren for a ride and got the first down. Looked like.
When you throw the ball out to the wide receiver who has gone in motion, you have a chance to get a soft corner, meaning that the defensive cornerback is laying back, and Archie has time to get the ball. Now, once he gets the ball, he becomes a good runner. Warren, number 45, lassos to the ground, but not before the first half.
44-yard line, first Georgia pass completion of the game. 6:14 to go in the first half, and Archie goes to the wide side of the field. Williams hands it off up the middle, and the gain by the fullback Young to the 49. That's a good 5-yard pickup there. With Williams in the ball game, he now, with his option abilities, spreading the Auburn defensive people a little bit. Georgia getting a little better angle for its blockers up front. So consequently, they're moving the football. They have not been able to do it previously, as you can see. That fumble resulted in an Auburn touchdown. Young goes in motion. They give it quickly to number 25, Tron Jackson. Jackson, the fastest of the group of backs, perhaps, but he could not turn it upfield as David King, a junior from Fairhope, Alabama, came in and brought him down.
David King, number 27, the cornerback, is an interesting story. He came on the Georgia campus 2 years ago and started after 1 week of practice on the first team and has started every game since.
Came on the Auburn campus.
On the Auburn campus, excuse me.
Folks in that balloon couldn't get a ticket. They're trying to work their way over here so they can watch some. 3rd down and 3. Short 3. They go back to Jackson, and Jackson won't get it. No chance. I mean, he just ran into a crowd, and everybody over there was bigger than he was, in particular Doug Smith at 6'6", 275. Jackson weighs only 175. You don't give up 100 pounds. You don't get much.
Well, Georgia's tailbacks are not all that effective running the ball. Jackson, of course, made a bad cut there. He should have stayed inside instead of going to the outside.
So Andrews has to come in to punt again. His last one was 28 yards. Auburn's going to get the ball with about 4:15 to play. Trey Gaines is standing back on his 10. Andrews gets it up high, and Gaines calls a fair catch. Georgia ought to be able to kill it pretty deep, and they are inside the 5. Down on the 3. Well, that's the way the kicking game's supposed to work. Andrews hits a high-hanging 45-yard punt. Steve Boswell puts it down on the 3, and that's where Auburn will have the ball. Number 3 ranked Auburn, first down at their own 3, leading number 4 ranked Georgia 10-0. The Georgia defense, getting its back up here in the last series, will try to hold them deep. You've got 4 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the first half. They'll try to give the offense some field position. This is one of those territories that causes the coach to fret considerably because the mistake here really hurt you. Auburn cashed in a Georgia mistake deep in its own territory. Give it inside to the fullback. No, they don't. They go outside to Bo Jackson, and Jackson runs him out of trouble, and he's still going. Nope, he hit the chalk. He hit the chalk back around the 31, near the 32. He almost broke that thing for 97 yards, but he did step on the boundary as he crossed the 31 marker.
The amazing thing to me is that Auburn would run the triple option from their own 5-yard line. You can see that Georgia got caught inside, a block by little James on the quarterback slack. Hogue is now playing free safety instead of quarterback. He gets outrun by Jackson, but Jackson steps, I believe, right there. Oh, there he is, left foot coming down right there. Beautiful execution on the triple option, getting Auburn out of trouble.
Gain of 28 yards on the play. It's first down Tigers at their own 31. Give it to the fullback. And Agee. Well, Georgia's handling him all right. But James and Jackson are tearing him up on the corner.
Freddie Gilbert, number 90, is the big defensive lineman that Georgia relies on to stop the play. He's stunning to the inside. He comes free. He reads the fullback. The fullback has the ball, and he makes the tackle. He wasn't blocked. He was the player that Campbell was going to read an option. Campbell misread it, left the ball there. Gilbert makes the play.
Second down and 9. Jesse is in. Bo Jackson out for a moment to get his breath after that 28-yard gallop. Actually, he ran much farther than that, but he had hit the chalk. That's Campbell keeping, gives it ahead to Lionel James, and James is up close to the 40. He's short of a first down, so they'll be looking at 3rd and short.
The Georgia cornerback is forcing so deep in the backfield that the quarterback is pitching to the halfback in front of the Georgia defensive end, something you rarely see in any type of option.
It'll be 3rd down and 2 plus, about 2.5 to keep it.
The Auburn offensive line continues to do their job. 2 all-conference players there, Arrington and Jordan, leading that charge.
Outside, Jesse having trouble holding on to the ball, and Georgia sacks him up for a big loss back inside the 35. Andy Loy, a sophomore from Knoxville, was out there, and when Tim Jesse on that high pitch had trouble controlling it, they're lucky they didn't lose it.
The kamikaze charge of the cornerback coming across right there makes the play. Could have been a fumble. It's Keith Benches. Now Auburn has to punt.
Lewis Colbert's first punt and only punt so far today was a 42-yarder. Jimmy Harrell is deep for Georgia. Oh, he's got another good one. He kicks with a half a foot. Harrell with a good return from the 16 to the 26, 27, 50-yard punt. Give him 11 yards on the return and even 2 minutes to play in the first half. And Auburn leads it by 10. All right, with 2 minutes to play in the first half, Georgia has the ball at their own 26. And Kevin Butler, their outstanding place kicker, has been warming up on the sideline. They would really like to have something on the board before they go to the clubhouse. They're double wide to the bottom of the picture. Williams quickly to Archie for a screen. Now he wants to throw it. Throws it up in the air for Kevin Harris. Harris downfield. He is run over by the defensive man, number 31, Vic Beasley. But the key to it is Beasley timed it just right and did not make contact with the intended receiver until the ball was there.
A little razzle-dazzle. The play that Archer made George go early in the game. Now he drops back and he throws the ball. And Beasley, number 31, not knowing where the ball was, got his hand on it, Keith. Watch it again. Beasley is looking at the receiver, not at the ball, because he's feeding on the plate. He's trying to catch it. Now all he does is raise his hand. At the same time, Harris puts his hands out to catch the ball.
Archie had thrown the ball another 5 yards. Harris would have been long gone with it. As Todd Williams pulls it down and keeps it and runs it for about 5 yards to the 31. Ben Thomas on the tackle, a big junior who stayed at home to play football. He's from Ashburn, Georgia, which is not very far from the Auburn campus. You've got 1 minute and 36 seconds to play in the first half. Timeout. Speaking of campus, let's take a look at Auburn.
In the land-grant tradition, Auburn is a people's university based in research, instruction, and extension. From coal gasification to new rabies vaccines, Auburn is on the frontier of meaningful exploration, making the quality of life better for all of us. For 7 generations, Auburn has been serving the public as each generation helps form the next. The genius of Auburn University is that of Auburn's history, Auburn's people, and Auburn's place, the sum is greater than its parts.
Well, you've had 2 Georgia mistakes, really, that have contributed heavily to a 10-0 Auburn lead, a fumble by Lastinger. Auburn stuck in the end zone. You had an illegal procedure or encroachment against Henry Harris. That kept Auburn moving, giving them a 1st and 5 situation, and they moved it on down. And now, if Herman Archie had been able to throw the ball just another 5 yards farther, Kevin Harris would have scored. Would have, and could have don't necessarily indicate blood relations, do they? 3rd down and 4.5 as Williams puts it up, and it is batted down. He delivered the ball, and he wound up hitting Greg Carr, the Auburn linebacker, right on the number. So it's an incomplete forward pass, and brings up 4th down.
Carr, number 54, has had a sensational year. The coaches say he's one of the best linebackers they've ever seen. He's right in the line of fire of the pass to Kay, and when he jumped, Williams just couldn't get the ball over his head.
And that brings in Chip Andrews at 1 minute and 32 on 4th down and 4.5. He'll punt it away to Trey Gaines. His last punt was a 45-yarder. He has had 1 poor one of 28.
Get out, man! Get
Gets it out. Pretty good kick. Gaines comes up for a fair catch at the 35. And there Auburn will have the ball with 1 minute and 25. Now, this is a very good time to go to your gadget play if you've got one. We'll see whether or not Pat Dye decides to do it. Next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the world's top professional skaters competing for honors in New York City and the World Weightlifting Championships from Moscow. That's at 5, ABC's Wide World of Sports, 5 Eastern Time next Saturday.
Auburn is going to the double wing. They're going to try to score again if they possibly can.
Campbell back, throws it to Bo Jackson. And Jackson in traffic is tripped up. Number 57 got a hold of him, Kenneth Sims, and took away his leg. But even so, the big guy gets something out of the play. Moves it up to about the 37. This being the second game in a row in which Georgia has not scored a touchdown in the first half.
How good an athlete is Bo Jackson. He's the first Auburn athlete to earn 3 letters in 1 year in 30 years.
Campbell keeping it. Jackson turning the play. He's taken away from him. Campbell has to keep it. And little Randy runs for a first down at the Georgia 40 before Andy Loy shoves him out of bounds. It's the Randy Campbell show right now.
He's playing a sensational game. Once again, Georgia is going to force the quarterback to keep it. But where was the linebacker? The linebacker should have been scraping off into the gap inside the defensive end. But for some reason, he gets faked inside. Now, Williams uses his head right here. He wants to get outside and stop the clock. He picked up a good block by his wide receiver, and he does just that.
Campbell has now run for 40 yards in the ball game. It's at the Georgia 41, and it's the first down for the Tigers. And the time, 44 seconds to play in the first half. They get all banged up inside. Looked like Campbell wanted to belly it to his fullback and then pull it out and go to James, but they got all tangled up inside. There's a penalty flag, and it looks like the penalty may be against the Tigers.
The right tackle, Wallace, jumped offside. A little bit eager, wanting to get to the linebacker and block him.
Well, having no gain on the play, Georgia elects to take the penalty, moves Auburn back to the 45. That is the first
Dead
penalty.
ball foul, illegal procedure, offense, first down.
What do we've had? One flag against Georgia and one against Auburn. They're whacking the daylights out of each other, but they're doing it within the rules.
There were 2 fouls against Georgia. That penalty on the kick formation, punt formation, that ended up into a key play.
Making the catch, Tim Jesse, swinging out of the backfield. He picks it up at the 35 of Georgia, mark it inside the 35, and now Auburn spends the timeout with 33 seconds to play in the first half. They can move it down another 15 yards, then Del Greco is going to have a shot at it if they can't get it into the end zone. Meantime, let's look at scores that are games that are in progress or have been completed. Nebraska big over Kansas in the second quarter, as you see. The Illini on their way to the Rose Bowl. That win right there did it for them. Mike White really doing wonders up at Champaign. SMU and BYU both leading in their ball games. Ohio State headed for a major bowl. Would seem to me the Ohio State-Michigan game is going to be a big one. And Clemson just hammered Maryland 52-27.
Well, once again, the coach's theory that the team that makes the most yards rushing will win 80% of the games in college, and Clemson just proved that point once again.
They're running the scoreboard in that Georgia Tech-Wake Forest game. Got to be tired. There's Missouri, and the Tigers trying to put themselves in a postseason bowl as well. It is second down and 4 for Auburn. Just inside the Georgia 35. Ball quickly to Lionel James. He pops out of the crowd and gets the first down. That stops the clock now to move the chains at the Georgia 28 and 25 seconds to play in the first half. Harry Hogue on the tackle for Georgia. And timeout, Auburn.
As we look at Pat's eye, Georgia played the screen perfectly, but the elusiveness of James allowed him to break in the secondary and make the first down. Make the first down.
Baylor becoming quite a factor in the Southwest Conference now, and UCLA had a chance to tie on a field goal as time ran out in the ball game out there. And Washington State trying to win their 6th against 4 losses, with Oregon, Paul Wiggin, having been fired at Stanford during the past week.
Interesting number about the Auburn football team. Their quarterback has not been sacked in 25 quarters. That's been a long, long time. Look at Ben Bennett of Duke, passed for 442 yards against North Carolina State and scored on the last play of the ball game.
It was, what was it? 21 to 6 or something like that. 26 to 3. 7 going into the final quarter.
Keith, the key here is that Ben Bennett only needs, 56 yards to pass John Elway, and he has a chance, 246, to pass Jim McMahon as the all-time career passing leader.
From the 27 of Georgia, first down Auburn, 25 seconds to play. First half, Randy Campbell keeps it. They go to the tight side of the field, and Campbell. Did he get out of bounds?
No, he did not, Keith. The official has not stopped the clock.
They run to the boundary side of the field. Georgia filled it up over there, and there's really no place for him to go. And now time is tricking. They try to get one play off, try to pick up. No,
can't do it, Keith. Nope.
Can't do it. So with 6 seconds to play, I would think Del Greco will come on. Auburn has no timeouts remaining, and that's what we're going to get.
Keith, I guess we should mention that Del Greco has a little bit of a wind to his back, going from our left to right. This will be a 42-yard field goal.
Well, he's got plenty of legs for that.
Yes.
The holder is Mike Mann. The snapper is Brian Delaney. Del Greco is from Key Biscayne, Florida. Mann is from Sylacauga, Alabama. And Delaney is from Rome, Georgia. So there are 3 states represented in this trio. They're going to call it a 41-yard field goal, but the ball is actually closer to the 42. This will be a new Auburn career record for touchdowns, 39, if he makes it. 6 seconds to play in the first half.
The holder is the quarterback, Mike Mann, who could possibly fake the field goal and try a pass. But I believe they'll go for the...
I think they'll kick it.
Yeah, they'll try to kick it. That's the best percentage play.
He's 3 out of 4 from this distance this season. Hit a 20-yarder earlier. Plenty of legs. He knocked it right through there. And time runs out at the end of the first half. And the Auburn Tigers, an impressive first half for them, as they go to the locker room leading the Georgia Bulldogs by a score of 13-0. Now here is Tim Brandt with Coach Pat Dye.
Pat, I don't think you can ask for a better first half than that. Your kids executed extremely well.
Well, we did. We didn't get it in down there a while ago when we got it down there close. Georgia's got a great defensive football team, and the difference in the ball game right now, of course, is we've controlled the ball on offense, and we've got to come back the second half and continue to play well defensively and keep them off the field on offense.
You've done that the first half. Time of possession heavily in your favor. Now, you came out of the blocks and gambled right away on a 52-yard field goal.
Well, you know, I watched him kick a 51-yarder before the game, and I knew that he was a yard out of his range, and that's what it was. If it had been a yard closer, he'd have made it.
Okay, good luck the second half, Pat. Okay, Pat Dye, an old Georgia player. While we have time out here at halftime, let's take a look at this Georgia campus.
And on James' 4-yard run to lead 7-0 in the first quarter, Al Del Greco hit a 20-yard field goal, 21, to make it 10-0, and then hit another one from 41 yards to make it 13-0. Auburn over Georgia at halftime, and the Bulldogs now coming back into the stadium. And they will be followed very shortly by the Auburn Tigers, which is wearing white on the road. The last time Georgia lost a conference football game, in fact, lost a game here at Sanford Stadium, as they call it, between the hedges, this team, Auburn, defeated them 33-13. So Georgia's back out here trailing by 13, and let's go to Tim Brandt now and Coach Vince Dooley.
Coach, I know you're not happy with the execution in the first half, and yet you take away that fumble, which led to a touchdown, and the offsides, which kept their drive alive, and it's a very close ball game.
Yeah, but you can't take that away. I mean, that's part of the game. They're playing well. Auburn has had a good first half. Their backs run well. They got some great backs, and we haven't tackled them very well. But I hope that we'll pick things up in the second half.
Besides wrapping the arms, which we saw a couple of missed tackles, as you mentioned, in the first half, and you and I talked about preparing for the wishbone in 1 week is very tough to do. What adjustments can you make to slow it up?
Well, the best thing you can do is just let yourself go and be a little more reckless, which we haven't been in the first half. And if we do that, I hope things will turn around a little bit better for us in the second half.
Okay, good luck the second half. So we are at halftime. Score, Auburn 13, Georgia nothing. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after this.
A very quick reset on circumstances. Auburn ranked number 3 in the nation. Georgia ranked number 4 in the nation. Georgia wins. They go to the Sugar Bowl and win the conference title for a 4th consecutive time. Auburn with a win can guarantee a share of the conference title. Del Greco kicks off. It goes to Gary Moss. Moss from the goal line finds a little daylight. Hits the 25 and 30 and 35 and almost, in fact, across the 40. So Georgia opens it up with a big return to get good field position. But let's go back to the first quarter touchdown. Watch Bo Jackson, number 34 of Auburn. Watch this run. He is in the clutches, right? Wrong. Watch the strength of the man as he runs and runs inside the 5, and from there, it was Lionel James who took it into the end zone. John Lastinger comes back at quarterback, and the pitch goes to David McCluskey, number 43, the 215-pound tailback, and he's out to about the 45. On the right side of the picture, number 34, Bo Jackson will throw a block that springs Lionel James. The tight end stepped back inside and sealed it from that direction, and Little Drain waltzed in. So that's where we are after the 2 field goals by Del Greco. It's 13-0 Auburn, and Georgia now second down and about 5.5. And it's McCluskey into the crowd, and he's got a yard, and that's all. So Georgia will be looking at 3rd down and about 4. Lastinger started the game. Williams replaced him in the second quarter. Lastinger coming back now, trying to get something going with Montgomery, Young, and an assortment of other backs working at tailback. Herman Archie, a wide man, and Kevin Harris. Those are the big people up front. Barry Young, the fullback, and David McCluskey, the tailback, on 3rd down and 4 for Georgia. Lastinger bootlegs it out, looks and throws. Has a man, passes complete, caught by Clarence Kay, the tight end. Lastinger is on the money with his pass, and suddenly Georgia is down, 1st down at the Auburn 41. And Frank Royals had come out snorting.
They've got 15 fired up. Lastinger, number 12, as a starting quarterback at Georgia. He's 19 wins and 1 loss. This time he threw the ball right on the target. Kay is a fine tight end, caught it and made the 1st down.
Montgomery is in at tailback now as they send Archie in motion. And the ball goes to Montgomery, and the blocking is pretty good up front this time for the tailback, and he hits it down near the Auburn 37. The big guys playing defense, John Daly, a 210-pound defensive end. Doug Smith, 6'6", 275 for Auburn. Dow Ottman is the nose guard, 265. Johnny Humphrey at tackle, 260. And Quincy Williams, the other end, at 215. Linebackers, Greg Carr, 6'2", 215, and Jeff Jackson, 6 feet, 225. It is 2nd down and 7, Georgia, at the Auburn 37, and Lastinger drops the football. Lastinger turning around to pitch the ball, just simply dropped it. So there's a loss back to about the 44. David King, cornerback, a good first half for David. The other corner is Jimmy Warren, 5'11", 180. The safeties are Vic Beasley, 6 feet, 185, and Tommy Fowle, 5'10", 190. It is 3rd down and 13 now for Georgia as they're backed up to the Auburn 44. Lastinger to throw. Has time. Loops it downfield, and it is incomplete. Deflected away, the pass intended for Herman Archie. It is kind of strange to me in this particular ball game, Frank Royals, that Clarence Kay, their big tight end, one of the best in the country, has been thrown to only 1 time. Herman Archie, on the other hand, they've thrown the ball at him quite a few times without success.
The ball was thrown late by Lastinger. Archie was open momentarily, but Powell, number 9, the defensive quarterback, came back and deflected the pass.
So that opening flurry by Georgia, getting the ball over on the Auburn side of the field to start the second half, is turned away by the Auburn defense, which has been dominant so far in the ball game, forcing the punt by Chip Andrews. It's a tail dragger, and it goes into the end zone. He was trying to roll it out of bounds in the corner, couldn't do it. Auburn will come out 1st down at the 20 after a 44-yard punt. Calvin Ruff is a freshman, a red shirt, out of Eatonton at defensive end. Donald Chumley's a big tackle at 240 from Savannah. Mike Weaver, the nose guard, 280. And Kenneth Sims, 245. A tackle with Freddie Gilbert, an All-American, All-Conference, 250. Cox Culpepper, the leading tackler on the team at linebacker, and Tommy Thurston, 235, the senior linebacker. And his 1st down now is Randy Campbell. It's had quite a day for the Auburn Tigers. He sets them up 1st down at their 20 with that wishbone offense. One of 4 teams in the country still using it. And the ball goes to Lionel James. Makes a good cut back into the traffic and picks up 5 yards. The Georgia defensive secondary, Darrell Jones, a senior at one corner. Tony Flack is a sophomore at the other corner. Flack has been hurt once in the first half, but coming back. Terry Hogue is a consensus All-American playing Rover. And Charlie Dean is the free safety at number 18. So it's second down and 5 for Auburn. The Plainsmen have controlled the ball game to this point. Have made no real serious mistakes in the ball game so far. Campbell getting pressure. Knocks Culpepper, got it. Back at the 21.
Culpepper likes the blitz, makes the big play. He reads the play as a pass. He's coming. Campbell, the quarterback, is trying to scramble, and this is the first time that the Auburn quarterback has been tackled for a loss in over 26 quarters. Culpepper makes a great effort. He stays relentlessly after the quarterback. There he makes the play. Big, big play for the Georgia Bulldogs, and they needed it desperately.
It'll be third down, about 8 from near the 22. Belly it off to the fullback, Ami Agee, who had a 219-yard game against Maryland last week. Agee gets almost nothing out of it, and it brings up fourth down. So the Georgia defensive unit, which has played very well, does its job. And Auburn now will have to kick it away. Auburn punter is in the ball game. Lewis Colbert has had 2 kicks so far, a 42 and 50 yards. Averaging 42 yards on the season. Jerry Moss is deep for Georgia. No pressure on Colbert. Good high-hanging kick, and Moss has to call fair catch and does. But Georgia has good field position now. They have the football first down up at the 42 after a 35-yard punt by Colbert. Georgia having run off 23 consecutive conference wins. Last team to beat them was Auburn. And the Tigers with one conference game to play. Alabama December 3rd trying to grab this one, leading 13-0. Lastinger, a little play action now, swings it back to Tron Jackson, set up a screen for him. Nothing doing. Number 42, Jeff Jackson, decks him. Big senior out of Griffin. Yep. Taking a look at the Southeastern Conference standings. Alabama won today, so the Crimson Tide 4-1 with a December 3rd game against Auburn. If Georgia should win this football game, they would clinch the conference championship because they would have concluded their conference schedule having only Georgia Tech left to play. But if Auburn wins, we'll go down to that Alabama game. There's a penalty flag. It's going to be against Georgia because the referee pulled it out of his pocket. But Auburn may decline it because they have run Tron Jackson down behind the line of scrimmage. Strong safety Tommy Powell out of Greenville, Alabama, a freshman coming up to make the play. So the Auburn defense, Frank, it just isn't giving them anything. They're just shutting the door on them.
The Auburn defense is so big physically that the Georgia team cannot run against them, and so they're going to more of a play action and short passing game.
Illegal motion, offense, decline.
George Hampton, the offensive coordinator, told me that might be the possibility that Auburn would be so strong that they'd have to change character, depart from what they've done best all year, and try to open up their passing attack. That seems to be the case right now.
It is third down. The ball is sitting on the Georgia 37. They need 16 yards to keep it. Lastinger on a deep drop. Goes deep downfield with it. He's got Harris out there, and Harris has got it. Made the catch between 2 defenders, but there is a penalty flag thrown back up at the line of scrimmage.
That thing is going to make a beautiful throw. Harris is in behind the safety. He lays it up, lets him run under the ball, but Georgia is called for holding or illegal use of the hand.
The play comes back.
Watch the pattern that Harris runs. Auburn defensive backs are known to play very tight and are vulnerable in behind them. You can see that Harris runs right behind Warren, number 45, and behind Beasley, the safety man, number 31. Tough break for Georgia.
Illegal use of hands, offense.
Well, again, the penalties hurt Georgia. Mistakes in the fumble and penalties have played a major part in Auburn's lead so far.
It is third down now and 21. Lassinger has good protection, gets it out to Con Jackson, but there are two Tigers waiting for him at the 39. The first one was Greg Carr, who leads the team in tackles, and that'll bring in the punter, Chip Andrews, on fourth down.
When you got mobile linebackers like Carr and Jackson both run 4.6 and 4.7, you don't worry about those short passes because you can come up, concede them first, and come up and make the tackle for short gains.
Chip Andrews about to hit his 7th punt of the ball game, and when you punted 7 times in the middle of the third quarter, your offense hasn't been doing a whole lot. Auburn drops off, leaving 8 men up front. Good kick by Andrews. Trey Gaines called a fair catch. He did it back at his 11, but had he not made the fair catch, Georgia had a chance to kill it deep. That was a 49-yard punt, and we've got a timeout. Number 14, Auburn quarterback Randy Campbell, very efficient. Here's what his coach said about him yesterday.
I think that, you know, if we could pull this thing off, then Randy Campbell's story would have to be one of the fairy tales of all time in college football. What he has done with his college career, just out of sheer determination and guts and class and integrity and working, and I mean he has drained himself of everything that he's got to put Auburn where it is today.
He's 6 feet tall. He weighs 165 pounds. He probably has no chance at a pro career, but he's got a great senior season for the Auburn Tigers. And he sets them up now, first down. They put it at the 12 of Auburn. Tigers are leading 13-0 here in the third quarter of play. That's Bo Jackson, bolting to about the 16.
Keep going back to Pat Dye. I closed my eyes and listened, and I thought it was Bear Bryant talking. Of course, Pat coached for Bear for so long. He is a lot like him in many ways, many ways.
That ain't too bad.
That ain't too bad. It's right.
Second down, and call it 5.5. Option down the right side, a little train. Lionel James hemmed in, cuts it back, breaks it out. Still going. First down, Auburn, out at the 34.
The Georgia defense played it perfectly. James should have been tackled or could have been tackled behind the line of scrimmage. You cannot play the option any better than Georgia plays it, but you have to make the tackle. As Vince Dooley said, they haven't been tackling good. Well, a lot of it is because of this young man right here. He's probably the most elusive ball carrier in the Southeastern Conference, only 5'7", 170 pounds. Not much speed, but he's hard to tackle.
And it's a first down. Ball is at the Auburn 34. Working the triple option to perfection. Of course, once they get in traffic, it's up to them, and Jackson and James have done a heck of a job, and this time it's easy carrying. Lionel James has now passed 2,000 yards, Frank. He's got 2,008. He is Auburn's third all-time running back behind Joe Cribbs and James Brooks, and that's pretty flashy company.
That is fast company indeed, and he must be the smallest back in many years in the Southeast, at least, that has over 2,000 yards.
You look back over Auburn's history, and they have had great running backs year after year after year. Go back as far as you want, and they've had great running backs. It is second down and 7. And Campbell options it down the line and keeps it to the 40. They'll be looking at third down and 5.
Here's an example of the Auburn running backs that are playing in the NFL. We recognize those names as outstanding ball carriers, and that's just ones in recent years. As Keith mentioned, they go way back.
One of the great upsets in this colorful series that started in 1892 was in 42 when a fellow named Monk Gafford cut him up.
The only Georgia lost of that year. They went on and won the Rose Bowl game against UCLA.
Third down and 5 from the 40 as Campbell stands quickly, goes with a wide-out pattern to Chris Woods, number 1, a senior from Birmingham. Woods pulls it down. There's a penalty flag thrown.
A late call. It seemed like that as we watch the pattern, Woods has excellent speed. Georgia secondary is giving him a good cushion. even though it's third and short yardage. I believe I'd be up playing him a little tighter than that on third and short yardage. But it's going for Dawn. I believe that Auburn is going to be penalized.
They're backing up. Talking to Tommy Thurston, senior linebacker. Auburn's time of possession is growing enormously. The defense has dominated the ball game for the Tigers. The offense has made very few mistakes. In fact, no mistakes really that have hurt them. Here's your call from referee Dick Burleson.
Holding, offense, repeat third down.
One thing, as we mentioned earlier, for those of you that joined the slate, both of these coaches stress the running game, strong defense, and a good kicking game, and throw only when the other team overplays the run, sacrificing pass coverage. Two outstanding coaches, good tradition right here in both of these schools.
It is third down and 15 for the Tigers from their 30. And Campbell straight back. Throws it short to Bo Jackson. Gang tackle. And down he goes at the 38, short of the first down. Here is Tim Brandt.
Keith, All-American rover Terry Hogue is taking himself out of the ballgame for Georgia defensively. His ankle is paining him something awful. You know, he hurt this ankle against Temple 2 weeks ago. Did not practice this week. Tried to go in the first half, played fairly well, but now it is really hurting him. He's taking himself out of the ballgame.
That puts Cantrell in his place as the rover back, who Cantrell having played very well last week in their 10-9 win over Florida. The punt by Colbert, his fourth of the day. Pressure! They almost got it. Almost blocked, but he got it away, and a fair catch is called up at the 32 by Gary Moss. It was Henry Harris, number 52, the freshman, who almost blocked it. 4:30 to go in the third quarter. 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter here in Athens, with Auburn leading 13-0. Georgia with its 9th possession. The previous 8 have ended in 7 punts and a fumble. Just short of their 33. Lastinger, the quarterback, opts him down the line, turns it inside, and he is dropped right about the line of scrimmage. Ben Thomas, a big junior from Ashburn, Georgia, made the tackle for Auburn. Another one of the factors in this ball game is Pat Dye, the Auburn coach, was an All-American guard at Georgia, while Vince Dooley, the Georgia coach, was a quarterback at Auburn. And it was Dye in 1959 who recovered a fumble that sealed the Georgia win over Auburn. So the familial relationships are deeply intertwined between these two schools. Lastinger's pass on the money as a penalty flag thrown as David King came up and hit Herman Archie. And apparently they're going to call it that he got there a little too soon.
Well, the rule says that the defensive man cannot touch the offensive receiver until the offensive receiver has had a chance to touch the ball. You be the judge. King, number 27, is going to be coming right over the back of Archer, number 81.
Too soon.
Okay, defense, first down.
Very, very close call. If his right shoulder does, in fact, hit Archie's right shoulder right there, very close play. King was very upset with the call.
Tough call, judgment call. So many judgments that a man has to make out there officiating a game. Here's Lastinger. Whips it over to Kevin Harris. Wide out screen. It works for a first down for Georgia. Down to the Auburn 42. Greg Carr made the tackle. Watch the work of Greg Carr, who is a member of the Honor Society. Fine student at Auburn.
Watch him fire and blitz, but he doesn't give up. Good defensive football players never give up. They always pursue while the ball is being in the air and on the ground, and a great play by Carr, saving a possible touchdown.
At the Auburn 42, first down Georgia. This one of the more impressive offensive efforts by Georgia so far in the ball game. This gain by the fullback, Barry Young, is good down to about the 37. Georgia had been averaging about 1.9 per rush. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football coming up Monday night. You'll get to see Eric Dickerson, the Rams rookie running back, who's been a sensation. The Rams co-leaders in the Western Division with San Francisco and New Orleans. Atlanta coming along, though. They've moved their record up to 4-6. 9 Eastern time on Monday. Second down, 4.5 for Georgia. On the Auburn side of the field, here's the pitch going back to Keith Montgomery, the tailback, and he's got a yard. That's all. The Georgia offensive front, one of the best in the country. I don't think there's any question about that. But the defensive effort by the Auburn people today, and particularly their big guys in the down position, Smith, Altman, and Humphrey, have just been a sight.
Humphrey, number 79, watch him fight off the block. Uses his hands. That's the mark of a good defensive lineman. He keeps his feet free. Then he recognizes where the ball is and escapes from the block and assists in the tackle. Humphrey made all Southeastern Conference in 1981.
It is 3rd down and 3 for Georgia. Outside, Montgomery will not get it. Now Vince Dooley's got to make a decision.
He will go for it on 4th down. He has no choice. He's threatening. He's got a little momentum. But the Auburn defense, Steve, the reason they're being so effective with it is that Georgia has not been unpredictable with their offense. They've been stereotyped running the ball most of the time.
They went to the boundary side of the field that time, trying to get enough clogging over there and open a track for Montgomery, and it just simply wasn't available.
Auburn will bunch inside and force them to go wide if they make it.
That's Scott Williams in motion. Here comes Lastinger. No, nothing doing. Nothing doing. Lastinger never had a chance to execute the option as the Auburn defensive people just simply overran them. Big Doug Smith, 6'6", 275 from Bayboro, North Carolina. And Auburn has the football, 1st down at their own 35.
You know it.
You've got 1 minute and 29 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Georgia has had a history with this particular senior class of players. Pull them out late if they had to. They went 99 yards to beat Florida last week in the 4th quarter. But they're in against a different critter, I think, today in these Tigers. Look at that. See that Campbell hold that ball for the last second, turn it loose as he was going down, took a solid lick from Andy Lloyd, but he got the ball to Lionel James, and James has got a 1st down. Nebraska rolling Kansas 47-0. Lionel James now with 9 carries and 75 yards in the game. Texas had to come from behind, trailing 14-3 at halftime to pull that out. And the Fighting Illini are headed for the Rose Bowl. That win today locked it. BYU is winning, continuing to win. LaVelle Edwards' team out in the Rocky Mountain country. From the 47-yard line, here comes Bo Jackson up to midfield. About 3 yards. Donald Trumley, Jr. from Savannah, brought him down. Alabama beating Southern Miss, 28-16. Alabama's got to go up to play Boston College yet. And then they play Auburn on December 3rd, a game that we'll have for you here on ABC. If Auburn continues to hold its lead and wins today, and if they can handle Alabama and Birmingham, they're on their way to New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl, their 2nd conference championship. Last time they won it was 1957. Only time they won it. 2nd down and 7. Campbell runs that belly series. Keeps the football. The ball is loose, and he rolled over on top of it and regained it as Freddie Gilbert had a hold of it.
Oh, Freddie Gilbert, number 90, has to make some big plays if Georgia's going to win. He's been their big playmaker. He's crashing to the inside, gets blocked momentarily, but he has the ability to fight outside, and he makes a leaping dive and knocks the ball out, and it rolls right back. Campbell's alertness recovers it for Auburn.
And the 3rd quarter is over with Auburn leading 13-0. We'll be back after this commercial message and the word from our local station. We go to the final 15 minutes of this 87th meeting between Auburn and Georgia. The Tigers have the ball at their own 46, 3rd down and 12. Leading 13-0. And Campbell back. Throws it short. And it is caught at the Georgia 49 by Ed West, the tight end. And he took a lick from Gary Cantrell, but he hung on.
West is going to be crossing in front of the linebackers. Campbell just holds the ball until he gets open, but it's such a short game. Georgia's defensive people, Campbell in particular, make a fine play and stop him short of 1st down.
And in comes Lewis Colbert to kick. Gary Moss is deep for Georgia. 5th punt of the day for Auburn. One of a knuckleball downfield. Moss trying with it. Finds a little room. Comes across the 20, out to the 23. 3rd quarter statistics.
Auburn's defense continues to dominate the game. The amazing thing is strikes out total yards for Georgia, 85 yards. They've been rushing for 250 yards a game. They've rushed for 46, giving Auburn plenty of opportunities to use their offense, and they lead 13-0.
Georgia averaging 2.5 yards on first down play. That will not get you a win. Here's Lastinger on a roll, bootlegging, coming outside, and hit from behind and brought down by Jim Bone, number 51, a junior from Columbus. Here's the story on the Georgia possession.
This just shows once again what field position would do. Auburn has moving the ball enough to start Georgia way back, as you can see, and Georgia not being able to do anything with the Auburn defense.
Second down, 7. Lastinger goes the other way to throw it. Ball is deflected by number 93, Quincy Williams. Big Quincy, 6'3", 215, a senior from Douglasville, Georgia, playing at Auburn. Reached up, slapped it down.
Georgia's offense is particularly in their passing offense, is not a sophisticated type. They live by the run. Their passing is not fancy. When they get behind, they normally get into trouble.
Well, they are in trouble right now with 13.5 minutes to play in this football game. Third down and 7 for the Bulldogs. Lastinger under pressure, gets his pass away, and it is incomplete, intended for Kevin Harris, overthrown and a penalty flag. It's back up around the line of scrimmage on the far side of the field.
The penalty against Georgia.
Somebody started too soon.
Will be declined.
Bring up 4th down and 7, and Georgia will have to kick it away.
Harris, number 20, doesn't have that blazing speed, but he runs precise routes. As you see, he gets open momentarily, but the ball is high. Warren, number 45, was carried. Arch is a man who goes in motion. He jumps the count momentarily, but once he gets started, he has to stay set for 1 full second, and he did.
The 8th Georgia punt. Good. Trey Gaines, fair catch at the 34. So the Tigers will have good field position. They're on 34 after the 40-yard punt, leading by 13. With 13:21 to play in the football game, Auburn now figures to stay on the ground and just challenge Georgia.
Keith, to follow up, Georgia's got to make something happen by taking chances, something dramatic.
Inside, Lionel James on a little counter, and he moves it from the 34 out to the 40.
Looked like for a moment that James was going to make a long run. The hole opened up, but Georgia defense reacted very beautifully and recovered and made the tackle.
That's Todd Williams warming up on the sidelines. He came on in relief of Lastinger back in the second quarter. Lastinger just hasn't been able to make anything happen. Second down, 4. James out. Allen Evans, number 33, in replacing him. Campbell stands up. Quick release to the sideline. Chris Wood gets the first down for Auburn on the Georgia side of the field. Near the 45. Tony Flack making the play. He had given him a lot of cushion.
When you have an experienced quarterback like Campbell, you look up and you see the Georgia quarterback giving a 10-yard cushion. You change the play. You tell Woods to go out and catch the ball and make the first down. The easy way to do it. You don't see the Georgia defensive back Flack come into the play until Woods had turned down and made extra yardage.
Campbell now 10 out of 13, 79. He's hit 7 in a row. Bo Jackson. Did he fumble? Georgia says yes. The officials don't.
Well, Auburn fumbling, preventing the fumbles is something outstanding on the wishbone. Let's watch it again. This is a pitch sweep. Jackson's favorite play. Scored twice against Florida on this one play. He cuts back. Once his shoulder or any part of his body touches the ground other than his legs or his hands, while he's in possession of the ball, it's a dead ball. And I believe that's what happened, Keith. He was on the ground when the ball popped out.
Second down 7, ball at the Georgia 41. Jackson hammers over the left side, big 226-pounder, and he's close to a first down at the Georgia 35. Boy, he's strong. Georgia Tech beating Wake Forest today, and Penn State scored in the last seconds of that ball game to beat Notre Dame 34-30. Big day for Kenny Jackson and a big day for Alan Pinkett. And Syracuse in the Dome beat Boston College 21-10. Jack McNell had worried about that game for a week. Sure enough, he was right.
Syracuse has had a good football team. They've played everybody close.
Third down, they need a foot. They call on Lionel James to get it. And the spot they give him is over the 35, and that will be good for the first down. 10 minutes and 39 seconds to play in the football game. Jackson now has carried 14 times for 104 yards. James has carried 10 times for 81 yards.
Georgia would like to get a fumble, but Auburn last year in 12 games only lost the ball turnovers 14 times. This year, they've turned the ball in 9 games over 14 times also, only 28 in 2 years. Remarkable, remarkable achievement.
Right it off to Agee, the fullback. Campbell keeps it, and Campbell runs it to the sidelines, and he picks up close to 8 yards on the carry.
Georgia's captain, Tommy Thurston, had Campbell for no gain, but Campbell just faked him. Thurston went to the ground. Campbell picked up the good yardage. He couldn't play any better. All Thurston had to do was make the tackle, and he couldn't do it. Here's the offensive backfield of Auburn. You can see how they share their responsibilities, the carries, the yardage, and the wishbone. That is what we are accustomed to seeing.
Knox Culpepper right now in the ball game, the leading tackler for Georgia, came in with 116. He's added 17 today. That's Bo Jackson cutting it up the middle and getting down to about the 21. For another Auburn first down, Gary Cantrell, the junior from Atlanta, brought him down. Cantrell playing the rover spot in place of the injured Terry Hogue.
The play starts to the right. It comes back to Auburn's left. Georgia defense are pursuing very quickly, trying to stop the play. It's an excellent call, something that is good, particularly in the fourth quarter when Georgia is trying to get the ball away from them.
Ball is actually closer to the 22. Off to Agee, the fullback. The offensive line surge escorts him for about 3 yards.
If we look at Vince Dooley, had a fantastic career here at Georgia.
Yeah, but he's got a grim look on his face, Frank, because if he heard these numbers, Auburn has run the ball for 260 yards today, Georgia for 49.
Georgia had only given up 104 yards average per game in the first 9 games. Here's Pat Dye, turn the Auburn program around.
Second down and 6 for Auburn. At the Georgia 18, Campbell throws it up. Ball is popped up in the air and caught by an Auburn man, Bo Jackson. And Jackson takes it to the 15.
Very alert Bo Jackson, who was faking off. Georgia defensive people are going to jump up and knock the little quick pass down. Campbell is going to try to throw quickly. Georgia looks like, yes, it's Gilbert who deflected the ball, but Jackson sees it coming back towards him, and he runs up, catches it, and makes a couple of yards. Number 34, Bo Jackson.
Well, you got to call it a completion, don't you?
Yes, you do.
8 in a row. Third down and 4. James. They hit him behind the line of scrimmage, Tommy Thurston. But Thurston could only get one arm on him, and he couldn't hold him. And he runs it down to about the 13. He's a yard short of his first down. It brings up 4th down. He's actually 2 yards short of it. And in comes Al Del Greco, who has kicked 2 field goals already. He puts his tee down at the 20. He has now moved into the lead as Auburn's all-time leading scorer and all-time career kicking leader as well. Mike man holds it. Del Greco nails it, but he hooked it. He had it way up in the air and into the crowd, but he hooked it out of the upright. So he misses from 30 yards with 7:02 to play in the football game.
The football throughout this game.
Georgia first down with Todd Williams in at quarterback now, replacing Lastinger, puts it up, it is deflected, it is intercepted by Jeff Jackson, the linebacker. Ball was deflected at the line of scrimmage that took all of the zip out of it, and it fell right into the arms of Jeff Jackson.
Well, Georgia has to go to the passing game, but they go to a play-action pass. It doesn't fool Auburn at all. The linebackers did not take the fake. They're right in the line of fire of the pass. It's deflected there, and Jackson, number 42, who was an outside linebacker last year, moved to the inside and made a fine interception.
And Auburn is in business now, looking for the door slammer on the Georgia 34. First down for the Tigers. Inside goes Bo Jackson. Campbell and the fullback, Agee, work so close to the line of scrimmage, don't they?
Keith, that's the strength of the wishbone. When the fullback hits right up behind the guard, the quarterback puts the ball in his stomach, the defense reacts to it, and that is what makes the outside play so potent as we look at Jeff Jackson, who just made that interception.
Gain was 2 yards. It is second down and 8. That's Bill Lewis, the defensive coordinator for Georgia, in the dark shirt there. On second and 8, Campbell goes to the air with it, hits Buford, and Buford runs it inside the 20, fights his way on down to about the 17, and at Auburn first down. Darrell Jones, the tackle.
Pat Dye told me that he let Campbell change the play at the line of scrimmage anytime that he sees something that might work. Once again, Georgia's cornerback playing very deep, very soft, gave too much cushion to the Auburn receiver Buford. There's the score by quarters.
Call it the 18 where they mark it. And first down for the Tigers. 5:54 to play in the game. Clock running. He's checked it again. Rides it off to his fullback. Pitches wide to Jackson. And Georgia cuts him down. Coming across, Charlie Dean with a rolling block, taking the feet from under Jackson.
Here's exactly what Pat Dye predicted for the ball game. Randy Campbell is a winner. He has those intangibles, and he had a great game today. 12 out of 15 for 95 yards. Last 8 in a row.
Did 9 in a row.
9 in a row, yes.
All just short of the 15. Second down, short 8, long 7. Jackson again. Dives in there.
The Georgia defense continues to fight valiantly. They've been put in very difficult positions by the Georgia offense. Ineffectiveness. Hard to stay out on the field for the whole ball game and stop a team like Auburn that has the backs that are breakaway threats on any down.
From the 13. Third down and 5 for the Tigers. Lionel James into the stack right about the line of scrimmage.
Just setting up the field goal. If they didn't make the first down, putting the ball directly in front of the goal post.
Del Greco comes in. El missed from 30 a few minutes ago. And they let the clock tick along, using all the time they can. They got a pretty good break because that 25-second clock didn't reset for about 3 seconds. This will be another 30-yard try. He's hit from 20, hit from 41, and missed from 30 today. He hooked that one out, too. His last 2 kicks have been hooked left to the upright. And so Auburn, in that particular possession, succeeded only in using up about 1 minute and 40 seconds of time. The football is sitting at the 20 for Georgia. John Lastinger has come back. Vince Dooley has been rotating his quarterbacks now, trying to find some lightning in the arm of one or the other. 3:35 to play in the ball game. Lastinger, very quickly. Kevin Harris dives for the marker and looks to have it across the 30 for a Bulldog first down.
Georgia has to rely on desperation passes now. Just go to the air, break every down. Auburn will be playing for this, mixing up some rushing, but mostly defending and conceding the short throws.
Gets away from the pressure quickly to Archie, puts him out there. He was one-on-one for a while, but then it suddenly became 4-on-1, and good night, Herman. Looking through the book, the last time you find Georgia having been shut out was 1979, Virginia. 31-0 in that particular inning. But Auburn just may do it today with only 3:03 to play in the ball game. With 3:03 to play in the football game and a 13-point Auburn lead, it is second down and 10 for the Georgia Bulldogs at their own 30.
We talked earlier about the defensive front of Auburn. I was interested to read back that their slogan was, "The roadway to the Sugar Bowl started with those defensive front four." Look pretty good today.
Certainly do. That's Archie going in motion. And Lastinger steps out of the pressure, gets his pass away. Pass is caught up across the 45, and they're going to call him down at the 47. Fred Lane, a freshman from Decatur. When he took the hit, the ball popped loose, but they called him down.
Lane is the fastest of the Georgia receivers. He's going to get open, and he finds himself right between the linebackers, and Lastinger makes a good throw. Now, the rule is that once his body touches the ground, the ball is dead if he has possession of it, and he did.
Jeff Jackson nailed it. First down, Bulldogs, they're 47. 2.5 minutes to play. The pass intended for Kevin Harris is incomplete.
Auburn, in this circumstance, will just drop back. The linebackers lined up 5 yards deep, the cornerback 12, the safety man about 25 yards deep. Concede Georgia the short pass, make the tackle the minute they catch the ball. If they do, complete it.
Auburn's only stumbled this year, lost to Texas in the second game by a score of 20-7. They were down 20-0 at halftime in that ball game. Lastinger dropping back to throw, goes to the sideline, pass incomplete, bounced in front of the intended receiver Kevin Harris.
Teams that run the football, live by the run, have a difficult time playing catch-up football. But Vince Dooley's team, this particular senior class, have won 41 games, lost 3, and tied 1 without having a sophisticated passing attack. But they're behind 2 touchdowns virtually now, and they're in trouble.
2.5 minutes exactly to play in the game. It is third down and 10 for Georgia from their own 47. Sideline pattern, tumbles out of bounds, catching the ball. It is Fred Lane, and it's a first down for Georgia on the Auburn side of the field. Good. Auburn backing up now, playing some defense.
Excuse me, Keith, a good throw by Lastinger. Lane is going to get on the boundary so that if he catches the pass, he can step right out of bounds and stop the clock. He has 1 foot in bounds while he has control of the football.
Auburn dropping the cover. So you're able to pick up that 10 to 15-yard zone normally pretty well when the team's playing off the ball. Here's Lastinger's pass down the middle. Lane is wide open. And Lane is brought down inside the 15 at the 13. If he hadn't lost his balance, he might have scored. That is the deepest penetration by Georgia all day.
The blitz, watch on the left. You see the blitz coming, but Lastinger steps up and hits Lane right in the middle, which is the weak part of the defense. The strong safety Powell, number 9, was beaten on the play. Lane makes the big catch and gives Georgia a chance.
With 2:16 to play.
Here's Lane. He's being covered man for man by number 9. Number 9, Powell, starting for the first time this year, is beaten on the plate very badly. The ball is laid up right perfectly for the catch. Lane tries to dodge Warren, but couldn't do it. That was the first time that Auburn has tried to rush Georgia in this circumstance. They got caught beating man on man.
I don't think they will do it again.
No, I don't believe they will.
Those are the games that are set for the future. Army-Navy on Friday the 25th, day after Thanksgiving in the Rose Bowl, Pasadena. Then on November 26th, we'll have Texas and Texas A&M, and the Aggies are getting their act together. Won't be an easy trip for the Horns to Aggie land. And then Saturday, December 3rd, 3:30 Eastern Time, Auburn and Alabama. And a Sugar Bowl trip for Auburn on the line.
If Georgia can score here and get the onside kick to both extra points, they could win this ball game.
Got to score the first one first. Last thing to the corner, he's got a man. Touchdown. Herman Archie.
Archie, number 81, is going to go inside and back to the corner. We call it a flag route. Number 9, Powell, a mismatch. He's a strong safety. He's beaten on the play. He cannot defend. The ball is thrown high. Archer, 6'5", in height, pulls it in for the touchdown.
Kevin Butler for the extra point try. Jimmy Harrell holds it. Brad Ansley snaps it. And the kick is good. So you've got 2 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the football game. Auburn's lead now is cut to 6. (13-7) Auburn. 2:11 to play in the game. And the fellow on the sidelines who's got to have wet palms right now is Al Del Greco, who missed 2 30-yard field goals.
And Keith Kevin.
Auburn's got 12 men on the field.
They've got 12 men. They sure do. But
2, 4, 5, 7, 10, 11.
No, they just got
Now they got one of them more. There's your onside kick. Bobbing around. Georgia's got it at the 45. Great job for Golden Glory, I'll tell you. David Painter comes up with the ball.
Kevin Butler is an expert. I was going to tell you that before the kick. I didn't get a chance. He's an expert at making the ball bounce up in the air after it hits the ground to give his players a chance. Watch Butler roll the ball, hit it right over the top. It goes way up in the air. Auburn comes out. Their tight end, number 82, Parks, tries to get it. He misses it.
Painter came out of there with it. It's Georgia's ball, first down at their own 46. Now the Auburn defense digs in. They've pretty well controlled Georgia all day, and they missed the sack, but they finally get it. Number 93, Quincy Williams, was really on a roll there. John Daly missed him, and that's Painter who recovered the onside kick. But Georgia's quarterback, Lastinger, is decked back at the 42. So once again, the Auburn defensive unit makes a big play. Second down, 14. Lastinger back. Has better protection this time. His pass is away short to Tron Jackson, and out of bounds he goes. He picked up about 2 yards on the play.
Auburn, in the last 2 weeks, has faced 2 outstanding passes in Wayne Peace and Esiason from Maryland, giving up over 300 yards to both of them. So
the Auburn secondary can be burned.
yes, they can.
You can see that. But Georgia doesn't have the passing game to do it. At least they haven't had to this point, with 1 minute and 37 seconds to play in the game. 1:37. 13-7 Auburn. Georgia with the ball. Third down and 13. Lastinger getting pressure. Gets it off to Fred Lane. He's out there with 2 people. No place to go. Greg Carr locks him at the 39. And Georgia is backing up now, losing on that play. And calls timeout with 1:29 to play.
as we look at Pat Dye, who had this football game and seemingly won, and now he's threatening, Georgia is threatening what's going through his mind. He's trying to keep his poise. He's trying to get his defense lined up properly, not to be rattled, trying to calm them down and play what they do best. He's got to keep his poise. He cannot be thinking about the national championship, a possibility, the Sugar Bowl, or whatever. He's got to get his defense settled down so that they can play their best effort on these last.
He's in pretty good shape, Frank. He's looking at, Georgia's looking at 4th down and 16. They have no timeouts remaining and 1 minute and 29 seconds to play in the game. I like Auburn's chances.
Auburn defense has really risen to the occasion, as we say in football. You get your backs to the wall, and they came out and have stopped Georgia with a sack and 2 very short passes, losing a few yards. So Georgia will have to go deep down to the intermediate route.
They've got to go 16 yards. Lastinger has it over the middle, and it is almost intercepted, almost picked off. Batted down by Jimmy Warren, and Auburn takes over Georgia now with no timeouts remaining and 1 minute 23 to play in the football game.
Auburn can take 25 seconds to put each play, down in the play, and therefore they will not have to punt the ball and give it up to Georgia. They'll just fall on it.
Well, it was the kind of a football game that I think everybody expected, right?
I agree with you, Keith. And when you look at Pat Dye, I asked Pat, what are the winning things, the keys to winning? Win the battle of turnovers, win the battle of penalties, the kicking game, and conversion downs. And Auburn has done that.
All right, that gets the clock rolling. And it'll just keep on rolling because Georgia has no timeouts to kill it.
And Keith, will be in Birmingham when Auburn lines up against Alabama.
The biggest win in Pat Dye's career at Auburn, this being his 3rd year there, was his 23-22 win over Alabama last year. This will be the next big win for the Auburn program. The Prudential College scoreboard coming up in just 50 seconds. Clock continuing to run. Here's your second snap. They'll have to snap it one more time. Randy Campbell. Big day for Campbell. All week long, Frank, I felt that Campbell would be the man, and he turned out to be exactly that. He is Auburn's most valuable player. Georgia's most valuable player is Knox Culpepper, who had 20 tackles, now has 136 on the season. Campbell, 12 out of 15, 95 yards, hit 9 in a row. He ran for 35 yards on 15 carries. So the respective universities of Georgia and Auburn will receive, in the names of their NBCs, $1,000 from Chevrolet for their General Academic Scholarship Fund. And as the clock ticks away, the Auburn fans went onto the field to join the football team as Auburn has defeated Georgia by a score of 13-7. Tough day in Athens. It's been a long time since the home folks saw their football team lose a game between the hedges. The last team to do it was 1979. That team was Auburn. And here the Tigers, pesky as ever, doing it again.
Young Pat Dye is going to be a giant in this profession. He loves Auburn, as I said earlier, and Auburn people love him. And there's one of the great statesmen and coaches in our profession, Vince Dooley. What we just witnessed was a great effort by Randy Campbell, the quarterback for Auburn. Sensational performance.
So the Tigers will take a couple of weeks off before they play their final game against the Crimson Tide in Birmingham, December 3rd. Coming up next, the Prudential College scoreboard. Prudential will have the rundown for you of all the games around the country, and there have been some surprises. And here in Athens, Auburn defeats Georgia by a score of 13-7. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Roone Arlen. Today's coverage of the Auburn-Georgia game produced by Chuck Howard, directed by Andy Sedaris, our technical director John Allen, associate director Garland Peete. This is Keith Jackson along with Frank Broyles and Tim Brandt. Our stats for Dave Burnson, and our spotter was Todd Berry. Prudential College Scoreboard in just a moment. NCAA college football brought to you by new Gillette Foamy Gel with more lubricants for the closeness and comfort you want in a shave. By Canon. Canon proud to be the official 35mm camera of the 1984 Olympics. And by Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts. Yes, indeed. The party's on at Trumer's Corner as Auburn wins by 6. Travel arrangements made through and promotional fee paid by United Airlines, the official airlines of the 1984 Olympic Games, and proud sponsors of the U.S. Olympic team. This is a presentation of ABC Sports.
Sunday.
A and 1 AA with perfect records. The Longhorns beat TCU today 20-14. They must play Baylor at Austin and Texas A&M at College Station. If they win one of those ball games, they have wrapped up their Cotton Bowl berth. Many of you saw Auburn beat Georgia 13-7. Auburn moves to 9-1 on the season with only Alabama remaining. Bino Cook, it's worth pointing out the only loss was early in the season to Texas before this team really had found itself and learned how good it was.
Well, yes, and that game might have been the one for the national championship, a one in September. Pat Dye should be Coach of the Year in that conference and a candidate for Coach of the Year in the entire country.
And, of course, those of you who watch ABC Sports will be seeing the Plainsmen, Auburn's War Eagle football team, again on December 3rd against Alabama here on ABC Sports. Illinois clinched their Rose Bowl berth.
I knew it all. Here's the game ball.
A beautiful autumn Saturday in Athens, Georgia, and a sweet Auburn victory, 13-7. Congratulations.
Thank you, Phil, and it was a beautiful day. And
autumn came late, but it
did, and Sue was telling me last night, she said, you probably didn't see it, but in Sanford Stadium, when the sun went down, the sunset was orange and blue. And she said, I knew something good had to happen. But it was a great day for our football team, our coaching staff, and Auburn people. It was a hard-fought game. It was one that everybody knew exactly how it was going to be. And it was one up front. Hand-to-hand combat. There wasn't anything fancy about it. There was a little passing on both sides, but certainly helped us in our cause throwing the football, and Georgia, too, got them in the end zone. But really and truly, Georgia's a running football team that plays great defense, and we're primarily a running football team that plays great defense, and it boiled down to really our defense was better than theirs. Our defense was better than their offense, and you got to give Georgia a lot of credit. Coach Dooley and his staff has done a great job in having them in position to win the conference championship. And they have a chance to win at the end. But it wasn't to be yesterday. Our football team, Phil, and a lot of people have made a big issue out of winning the big games and this, that, and the other. But that's the ones you play for. I mean, you play a season of 11 games, but you got 4 or 5 in there that are the ones that make or break the season.
You played no turnovers.
No turnovers, and that was the difference in the ball game.
As you said it would be.
Last year it was we turned it over twice. They didn't turn it over any. We lost 5 points, and yesterday they turned it over twice. We didn't turn it over any, and that was a big difference.
One of the things that impressed me about it, too, was the way the Georgia players played. Some of the Georgia seniors, that is, the Auburn players from Georgia, played their best game.
Well, it was a great football game, and you're going to see in the film that individual effort was unbelievable on some of them. Or Jeff Jackson, I'm sure, played the best game he's ever played at Auburn. Quincy Williams had some great plays. Doug Smith just had three tremendous plays defensively that I know of right now. The fumble calls, the interception calls, and the fourth down when you stop them. So there's a lot of stars out there. And Greg Carr had another outstanding day. Gerald Robertson, secondary played well. Bo had a great day running the football, and the offensive line had to do a good job. And of course, as always, Randy was near flawless in his operation at quarterback, and that's a result of just youngster that's grown and matured and developed into a really outstanding quarterback. It's a great leader for us, and I'm just happy for the players and the coaching staff that worked so hard and set their goals, and it's one thing to set them, but it's something else to reach them. And we still got one to go. That's a mighty big one on our schedule, and we're going to give them off this week and kind of rest up and heal up. And
I think they've earned it, wouldn't you say?
Go back. Well, nobody in the country has played one tougher than we have. So, and early on, when the television people called about us moving the game back to the 3rd of December, 3 weeks is a long time to have off before you play a game. But I knew that with our schedule, we'd be bruised and battered and sore and at this time, so I'm delighted to death that we have the 3 weeks before we play Alabama.
Let's go into the post-game dressing room right now, and as you can imagine, it was a lot of fun.
You played yourself a game of a lifetime, didn't you?
Yeah, it was about time. I mean, I hadn't had one like this all year. And it couldn't happen no better time than now against Georgia.
How do you feel about it? Going home now.
Sweet. How about them dogs? I got a feeling the Tigers going to the Sugar Bowl. I got a feeling the Tigers going to the Sugar Bowl. It's my job to stay underneath, and we got a man over the top. And so I was hanging a little bit, let him get a little bit in front of me where I can bait the quarterback and throw it, and he did. I wanted to intercept it, but I missed a foul. Just knock it down.
Hey, which one of you guys is Rod Middleton?
Me. What? I'm getting a little time. Oh, no. How about them Tigers? That's what I'm going to say.
How do you feel now? It's taking a long time to do it.
I don't know. I ain't come down yet. I don't know. It's great. Going to the Sugar Bowl. What they're doing is they're sending about 3 or 4 guys on Tommy Age's fullback, trying to stop him. They had the linebacker and the defensive tackle in the end all keying on him. Because that was our big play last week. Auburn? Hey, yeah. Well, we're going to be #1. It's just something we practiced before the game, and every day at practice is when you got to have to catch the ball first, and I was going to run with it before I caught it. Then I decided, after I seen I was prominent, I just concentrated on the ball and just stopped to get in. And then when they scored the touchdown, everybody got uptight, and then they came back in that onside kick. We know then, the only way for us to go to the Sugar Bowl was to win this game, and everybody just went out there and put their guts on the line. I was paying attention at all times, just waiting for them to kick, But they had a lot of success, and I'm happy that,
I thank God that we won the way we played. I mean, you were there, and we didn't really execute our offense at all this second half. And Georgia's type of ball club where you nearly have to be perfect. I think the key of making up from not executing our offense was we didn't have any turnovers still, and Georgia had 2. And that was the big, effect in the game. Tommy's 219 yards last year. They had to take away our fullback threat, and with them taking away that, it leaves something else open. And I think Randy did a great job, and he just pitched, and the corners were there, and our split ends did a great job of blocking.
Think this team can win big games now?
Yeah, I knew it from the jump. We got a lot of young guys, and they're growing, and they're pulling together, and seem to be having fun. That's what it's all about. They're a great team, and I have all respect in the world for them, and I wish them good luck next year.
Where are you going tonight?
Back home to Atlanta.
How are you getting in that out pass?
Well, their corner lined up deep on our wideout, on Chris or Clayton or Trey, whoever happened to be out there. And the guy that's usually the strong safety was playing pretty close to the line of scrimmage. And it was a combo where I could look out and see where he was and choose between the sweep and the pass play. Early in the game, I chose the sweep a lot, and then later in the game, I started throwing the out pattern a lot. It was up, Coach Crow leaves that up to me.
As the seniors representing our football team yesterday, you see Pat Anderson and Lionel James out front to call the toss, and
Which they lost for only second time this year.
what I guess and what we had to receive, didn't we?
Right.
Because they chose to take the ball in the half, and
I wondered if you decide to kick anyway.
You know what we did to come out the second half? We gave Georgia the ball and the win, so we would have the win in the fourth quarter. And, of course, that's the first drive we had the ball right here, and we move it pretty good. We come down the field and make a nice pitch to Lionel and come back and throw the ball out in the flat, pick up a key first down. Bo makes a nice run here. We're getting it down close.
But you have to give it up. Miss a long field goal.
Long field goal, and the ball actually hit the corner of the goal post. We started out playing defense from the beginning, and there's a great play right there by Doug Smith, and we were really concerned about the last thing, keeping the ball on the option, and we'd worked very hard to keep him from cutting down the running lanes. He'd like to turn back up inside, and there's Lionel breaking a tackle and making some miss and picking up 4 or 5 yards.
Taking this in the end now after the turnover.
That's Randy. Great job out there by Pat Arrington blocking the linebacker, and Randy picks up another first down. Bo is running here, and this is a great run, folks. I think that run right there probably convinced Georgia folks and Georgia team that Bo is a great running back. Right here, just watch it. He just runs through it, powers through it.
Leaves 2 there,
and another one there. He runs out of that one, and they finally drag him down.
And then watch this. Bo gets the big block out here on the corner.
This is Randy pitching to Lionel, and Bo knocks his guy down the offensive line. I think Ron Middleton had a nice block on the linebacker there, had him walled off inside, and Lionel gets a little victory ride.
And sugar on him. Sugar cubes in the end zone.
Feel my cough is trying to come back on me a little bit. Here's a great play right here by Jimmy Warren. They had him beat a little bit, but Jimmy played it perfect. He reached up and this is the ball got there and caught his hand and pulled it down just like he coached it to. They just didn't have any running room at all yesterday, and here's a great play. They run the comeback and run the quarterback draw, and last thing is runs up inside, and Pat Thomas makes the play. Here's just a little hand back misdirection play we run, and Bo picks up and makes a nice gain.
12 yards. 3rd and 7 play.
Looking, comes back to Jeff Hawk, and kind of a throwback route, and Jeff picks up a first down.
Tried to go for it on 4th down here.
Yes, we did, and I don't know, that play is really designed to get the ball pitched, and Randy felt like the folks ran upfield and took the pitch away from him, but they stopped on 4th down. Fine play by Gerald Robinson. And we had tremendous respect for Clarence Kay going in the game. I know Quincy Williams and Gerald Robinson and John Daly and Kevin Green, our defensive ends, must have had to play outstanding because Georgia just had no running room whatsoever on sweep or the sprint draw or whatever they came over there with. Fine throw and catch by Randy and Clayton comes back on the reverse, and Georgia does a good job of playing it. We still gain 3 or 4 yards.
1st and 10.
We're going on down and make a first down. Here's a fine play by Randy and Bo. Acceleration. Randy and Bo do some mysterious things out there with that ball, some way they pitch it and handle it.
The guy's covered. Tight end was covered on this play.
Yeah, we were trying to finesse them there. That works sometimes. When it works, it looks great, and when it doesn't, it looks kind of silly. So that one looked kind of silly, but we get a field goal out of it, and it's 10-0. It was a great play by Jeff Jackson. We forced the quarterback to pitch the ball, and Jeff gets outside on the option and makes the play, and it was for no gain. Good pressure right there by Quincy Williams, and forces last thing is to hurry his throw a little bit, and I believe that might have been Todd Williams, the backup quarterback. Pitching to Tron Jackson, and David King comes up and makes a nice play on it. There's John Daly and Doug Smith and David King and Greg Carr. Great play right there. I'm not sure. Was that a 4th down?
Stop him on 3rd and 3 there.
And forced him to have to
This is the next series here.
Here's another outstanding play right there by Victor Beasley, and Victor did a great job of deflecting the pass without getting pass interference. Here's the pressure. Again, Ben Thomas comes over and makes the play.
3rd and 5.
Again, Greg Carr knocks it down. And you can see that our defense is just, they're around the football and just doing a great job. Here's a key play in the drive for a field goal right before the half.
This drive started with 1:25 left in the half at the 35-yard line.
I don't know, that must have been a 20-yard run by Randy.
And he got out of bounds, too.
And come back and throw the middle to Tim Jesse. You can see we're using a kind of a double wing set here, and come back and throw the screen pass, and You know, we're a wishbone football team, but we have the ability to spread folks out and use our running backs in the passing game. I think most caught 4 passes last night. Split ends. We got a lot of formations that we can go to. Just having the threat of lining up in that full house, you know, gives people problems getting ready to play us defensively.
13-0 at the half. We'll be back in just a minute. Working defensively at the half, Georgia had made 57 yards total and only 3 first downs.
Well, you know, we had to make a decision at the half, Phil, and I knew the game would get into the fourth quarter and be won in the fourth quarter. I felt like it would be, even though I felt comfortable with the lead we had, and we were playing well and moving the football and playing well on defense. So we made a decision to go ahead and give them the ball and the win in the third quarter, which would give us a win in the fourth quarter. And you know, and if we need to win with a field goal, we'd have the advantage.
The great Auburn band. Isn't it great to have the band on the road?
Well, Sue said the band won the contest too, but they always do. So, done a great job as a Georgia Bulldog.
Their opening series, third quarter.
They come back and
no,
move
this
the
is their
football
second
right
series. You
well,
stopped them
they moved the ball and made a couple of first downs. There's a great play by Jeff Jackson, and you can see Tron Jackson, another that tailback. Tommy Powell comes up and makes a play. Quincy Williams getting pressure there. Great tackle in the open field right there by Greg Carr. Now that's not easy to do, to come out there and tackle a gifted running back in the open field like that.
This is their third series of the quarter.
That's a great play by David King right there, and of course that's one of those judgment calls where we didn't think it was pass interference, but the official did, and that's the human element in it. They come back, but you can see that they just don't have much running room, and the defense is swarming the football. And great play right here by Jimmy Warren and Jeff Jackson again.
4th and 1 coming.
I tell you what, great play by Doug Smith. Just took McIntyre, the All-American tackle there, and bent him over backwards and forced him back into the quarterback. And you know, I think that Doug probably played his best game yesterday, and I know that Jeff Jackson did. Greg Carr was his normal self, and here we take the ball and move a little bit. They do a good job. There's Freddie Gilbert, that great defensive end, making a play on Randy, and we leave the ball on the ground, but get it back. They come back on defense. We come back on defense, and here's Jim Bone makes an outstanding play on left thing of the quarterback. Again, his pressures. There's fine play by Quincy Williams. I don't know, we hit several balls last night and knocked them down and so forth. And
pressure makes him overthrow that pass. So Auburn takes the ball, and they have it at the 40 now. This is 2nd down, 5 play at the 40, going the other way.
Randy did an excellent job of throwing the football last night. That's Chris Woods, and of course Georgia plays with 3 deep and gives us quick stuff on the outside. There's a little misdirection play again with Bo. There's Randy running option.
Run around Thurston.
Lionel missed the block, which he doesn't normally do, but Randy made him miss, which he normally doesn't do. There's Bo running this misdirection again and picks up 6 to 8 yards. We're going to take this one down and have a chance for a field goal here.
Like this. This is
a great alert play by Bo. That guy tips it up in the air, and Bo catches it and turns it into at least not a bad play. I think Allen felt like he made that field goal, and of course the officials got a lot better view of it standing down on the goalpost, and you know, the distance factor there, you can't judge it. But there's another outstanding play by Doug Smith. Tipped that ball and made him take a little off of it, and Jeff Jackson comes up with the interception, and we're back in business at the 30-yard line. There's a fine throw and catch to Clayton Buford, and Randy's throwing and Clayton catching. And
3rd and 5 here.
Lionel runs the sweep, and they stop us, and again have an opportunity to kick a 30-yarder, and this time it was not close. Either one of those could have put the ball game out of reach for Georgia, because it would have made it 16 to nothing, and the way our defense had been playing, it would have been near impossible for them to.
That guy is a good receiver.
Make it up. He is a good receiver, and of course Leffinger's got great poise as a quarterback, and they're going to take us down the score now. It's tackled by Jeff Jackson. We're still getting a little pressure, just a little bit there from being a great play defensively to a great play offensively. But again, Georgia converted, they executed, did what they had to do, and they come back and hit a big split-in Archer for the touchdown, and it's 13-7.
That's another one of those quarterbacks that can't throw. So.
Right, and this is the onside kick, and the ball takes that big high bounce like they always do, and Jeff Park goes up, and I believe that ball hit Jeff on the shoulder pad. He just didn't quite get enough of it, and Georgia comes up with the ball at their own 45-yard line. And we come with pressure right here. There's John Daly, and Quincy Williams ends up making a sack along with Greg Carr.
Would have been a hole.
Again, we go to a three-man rush. They hit one of the backs, and we're in good position there to knock him out of bounds. We're mixing up our rushes here. There's fine pressure by Dow Altman and the defensive ends, and again, Greg Carr makes a play out there on the fine split in the open field in this third down now.
Fourth down, 16.
Down. We went to man underneath. Jimmy Warren makes a great play, and the game is over. Randy runs out the clock, and now they're singing and celebrating in the dressing room.
This game had some parallels to a game you played on the other side of the ball back in 1959.
Well, you know, the score of that one was 14-13, and it was, I'd say, you know, by different players at a different time and a whole lot less ability. Probably was just as hard fought as that one was last night. And of course,
turnovers made the difference, too.
Well, that's right. Turnovers made the difference in the other one. It was Auburn kicked 2 field goals, and we had our fullback backed into our punter, and Auburn got the ball at the 2-yard line and scored. That's the way they scored. We ran a punt back for a touchdown, and then had about a 40-yard drive at the end to win the game.
You failed to mention that you recovered a fumble to set up that drive.
That's not important. What's important that Auburn won yesterday. Oh goodness, it was a lot of fun, and I think that, you know, it's something that was, I think, well deserved. Our players, the seniors particularly, they didn't come to Auburn to win a conference championship, and they didn't come to win a national championship, but with the faith that they've had in our program and our philosophy when we came in 3 years ago, and without question, the ones that are still here worked and believed and had a dream and had a goal, and now it's all within reach, and part of them has already been reached, and that just thrills you to death to be a small part of that.
We'll be back in just a minute. Well, that was late in the afternoon. I guess Hall Thompson watched it on television. He wasn't on the golf course.
Well, you know, Mr. Thompson and a group of men from Shoal Creek came down to Auburn the other day, and they're traveling all over the state of Alabama, working on the PGA tournament next year at Shoal Creek. And, you know, I've played golf at Shoal Creek. I've been around Shoal Creek. I'm not much of a golfer. But, you know, I think that it is absolutely one of the greatest things that's happened to Alabama is the PGA Tour coming to Shoal Creek, because Shoal Creek is certainly one of the show places here in the state of Alabama, and Mr. Thompson and that group is working very hard to make it a first-class affair, and I can assure you that everything Hall Thompson does is first class, and I certainly hope that everybody in the state of Alabama is going to support this tournament and the efforts that they are making, because it will be a great thing for the state of Alabama. I grew up around the Masters, and Shoal Creek is a show place in Alabama, just like the Augusta National is in Georgia, and it's just a great way for us to promote the state of Alabama.
The UAB Auburn basketball game the night before the Alabama-Auburn game, going for a record crowd for basketball in that game. The tickets $6, $5, and $4. Coliseum Ticket Office, Birmingham, Auburn Athletic Department, and all Pizzit stores throughout the state have tickets. We want to
Don, this is the first day that Bowl Biz can officially be extended, and only the eternal pessimist had to doubt today's action in Auburn. The Tigers were extended to nobody's surprise, the Sugar Bowl bid. Sugar Bowl executives were on the plains this afternoon to invite Coach Pat Dye's Tigers to New Orleans January the 2nd. Auburn earned the bid by winning at least a share of the SEC championship. They can claim the crown outright December the 3rd with a win over Alabama. Coach Dye gladly accepted the invitation for his players and his coaches.
this is a culmination of 3 years of work, not just 1 year or one game or one season. It started 3 years ago, and actually, some of you probably don't realize it, but our goal last year was to go to the Sugar Bowl. And, of course, you didn't hear anything about it much because we didn't get a chance to go.
Coach Pat Dye's Auburn Tigers, who are in the Sugar Bowl, and the Tigers' opponent in New Orleans on January the 2nd will be Michigan. The Wolverines earned the title in Ann Arbor this afternoon, or earned the bid in Ann Arbor this afternoon with a 24-21 win over Ohio State. Well, Coach Ray Perkins, in a late afternoon press conference in Tuscaloosa, accepted a bid for Alabama to play in the Christmas Eve Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. The Sun Bowl will mark 26th straight postseason appearance for Alabama. That's a national record. Accepting to play opposite the Crimson Tide is SMU. The Mustangs are 9-1 after today's shutout of Arkansas. SMU is the highest-ranked team not attending one of the big 4 major bowls.